All
right, we're going to bring this meeting April 13th, 2021, now 9:30, past 9:30, 9:34. We're going to start our meeting, and if you'll join us in prayer.
Okay. Dear Heavenly Father, we praise your name, Lord. We just thank you for this day. We thank you for all your blessings that you've given us, Lord, and for this place that we can live in a small town in a good state, and we're just really blessed by that, Lord. Bless this time and all these people, and let us be able to make the decisions that, according to your will, that will be helpful to the taxpayers of Scott County. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you much for joining us. Go right on into our agenda. Superior Court Judge Hauser, transfer request.
Judge Hauser is asking for 2 transfers in her Superior Court budget, 1,806.75, and we do round up. She's got 6 on there, but we do round up for transfers from 31300 travel to 31002 all for attorneys, and 859 from 31300 to 13401 transcripts.
I move to approve all that.
I'll second.
All right, first or motion and a second. All in favor? 7-0.
Yes, ma'am.
Next is Prosecutor Owens, additional appropriation request.
Where would you guys like?
Good morning, anywhere you want to. You can,
Here,
you can stay there, it doesn't matter.
I'm fine with here. I got my body over here. First, we've requested $37,226 out of account number. You've got it there, I think. So he's saying all those numbers. What that is, so I worked with Teresa to simplify our budget. Our budget before, we had people paid out of this account and that account, and we may have the same prosecutor paid out of several different accounts. So we worked over the course of, when I took over in 2017, we talked about trying to simplify things. And so what we did is we tried to get everything paid, like one person paid out of one budget, essentially, out of one account. And what happened was last year, whenever we did the budgets, I had 4 deputy prosecutor positions, and I advertised those in different spots. I've had, let's say, prosecutor 1 paid out of county general, and I also listed it out of the law enforcement tax. Prosecutor 2 out of county general, also out of law enforcement tax. Prosecutor 3 out of county general, also out of law enforcement tax. And then deputy prosecutor 4 has always been paid part out of a grant and then part out of child support. And whenever the council approved last year, they didn't approve that money out of child support. They put it, I can't remember if it's county general, because this one was county general. Well, we get reimbursed out of child support from the federal government. It's at 66%. So if we pay that salary out of the child support, because she's our child support deputy, we get 66% of that back from the federal government. If we pay for them out of county general, we don't. So all I'm asking is that that money, that deputy prosecutor's salary, be put into this child support grant, child support spot. So I'm not really asking for any money. Okay. I'm just asking that it be paid out of that, and we won't pay it out of county general. Is essentially what I'm asking for. Is that?
It's actually appropriated, the second 30,000 is in a grant, and 226 is in the prosecutor's budget. From your prosecutor.
Yeah, I'm asking for it to come out of the.
So the money's already appropriated in general fund. We just need, and I did the additional in child support to move the money, but we also need to do a reduction, so you'll have that in May. But you can do the additional appropriation and the amount that you're asking for to be moved over.
That's fine.
So we're just moving it from general to child support now.
From here on out.
From general prosecutor
Out of
to
child
general, child support.
And I didn't realize that until, after the first year, whenever we get what's actually been appropriated. And I saw, like, wait, this money's not coming out of child support. This has always been our child support to have to be, we get reimbursed for that, so.
So, This is primarily a bookkeeping
Yes.
procedure simplification, is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay, you just started that.
All right, Lindy motioned, do I have a second?
Go ahead.
I'll second
As long as we get it.
Diane seconds to move from general prosecutor to general child support line.
Yeah, and again, you will hear this, the reduction part of it at the next meeting. The additional is done, the reducing of it in the prosecutor's budget will be done at the next meeting. We have to do that for DLGF. And the amount,
Will you need me here for that one?
no, unless, okay, she says yes. Just no.
Now, just to kind of clarify for me, why do we call that an additional appropriation, really? I mean,
The way DLGF looks at that is, it'd be like if the auditor gave the treasurer money. If we had an abundance in a line item and we wanted to move that to the treasurer budget, we have to reduce it in one. We have to let, because it's a taxpayer fund, we have to let the DLGF know that we're reducing in one and appropriating in the other. So
Okay.
we have to go through the process of
Okay.
it.
I mean,
Because
it's kinda like transfer.
anything we do here isn't always a go. Like, once they send it to state looks over it, they can still bogus our decisions.
Mhm.
So that's,
Okay.
And the amount, Chris, that,
It was 37,226.
the full amount,
I think. Now, how's that gonna affect what's already been paid out of this year, though? That's the,
we can adjust.
okay, then yeah, the full.
That's the easy part.
Yeah, that's
So you want to move the entire
Yeah.
amount from the prosecutor's budget over to,
Yes.
Do we vote on that yet?
no, not yet. Okay, we have a motion and a second to move three, now you got me going. 37,226 from, general prosecutor line item to general child support line after the reductions made.
right.
Okay, all in favor? 7-0? Okay,
I think I'm up again if you're ready.
okay.
Yeah, the next one is, at the end of last year, after budgets were finalized, the commissioners approved for us to take a couple of vehicles, their old police cars that Gary was kind enough to lend to our office and over to let us use. And I came down to talk to you guys as the council, and we have no budget for that because we've never had those before. However, just to give some of the new people some background, I have talked to lots of prosecutors' office. I'm on this board of directors for State Prosecutors Council, and at some of those meetings I've talked, most of the prosecutors' offices in this area, they have vehicles to use. We have two vehicles. One of them has, I think, they both have about 146,000, 147,000 miles on them. One of them is they were approved by the commissioners to be take-home vehicles. One of them I actually do drive to and from work every day and take it home because most of the times I'm called out on the scene, it happens in the middle of the night or on the weekend. So it wouldn't make any sense for me. I'm either still going to take my personal vehicle or I'm going to have to drive into here, transfer vehicles, and then drive out to the scene. And oftentimes that's just, I need to go west of town to the scene, and I've got to drive all the way back here to get it and then head out there. So time-wise, that wouldn't make any sense. The other one actually sits here. It's not used as a take-home vehicle, but my investigator uses that pretty much every single day because he's out serving papers for child support or hunt down witnesses and all those kind of things. We also use them for any time we have to go to Indianapolis to any kind of trainings or seminars or anywhere actually. Then those cars are there for the deputy prosecutors to take. I think the commissioners approved it where any of the deputy prosecutors or the investigator can use the vehicle. So any kind of trainings. And we knew at the end of last year, it happened after budgets were submitted. And so they basically said, hey, come back next year and ask for money because it's too late to mess with budgets this year. We got them, I think, in November of last year, maybe even December, somewhere in that area. So I'm here to add, and I didn't know what amount to even ask. I talked to Brian Rensselaer, because Brian has cars through community corrections, and he said, ask for about, I can't remember if he said 5,000 or 10,000 a car, but I'm here to ask for 10,000 total. And what that's gonna pay for is gas, maintenance, you know, all those kind of things. And just in case, you know, things happen with the cars. And just to give you a little bit of information, right now, we've had these since, like I said, I think November of last year. We've spent about $300 in fuel. And what we did before is you guys paid mileage. Any of the, I went to the board of directors meetings in Indianapolis, you know, pretty much monthly. I'm also I'm the only prosecutor in the state on the Indiana Law Enforcement Training Academy board of directors. And so when I have to go to those meetings in Plainfield, we just got mileage, and those, you know, actually every time we went to Indianapolis, the back and 40 cents a mile was, you know, 150, 160 bucks usually. And same with our investigator. He was out traveling every day in his personal vehicle. And again, and that's just not safe either. He's going up to some houses of people who are committed crimes, trying to serve them papers a lot of times to come testify in court, different things. And he's in his personal vehicles that he's going to then maybe, you know, driving his kids around him, you know, later that day. And that's, you know, that's just not, that's not safe for him or his family.
How exactly does the
Trace.
vehicle
Looking at a general.
maintenance work on our vehicle? Do we have, like each agency has their own maintenance? You know,
I can tell you.
Go, please do.
I'm probably, you know what I'm saying?
And I was gonna say, first of all, Jerry's been great. They have people, and he's been, anything needs done, he's offered to let people do his work, do ours, to keep the cost down as much as possible.
The maintenance thing is kind of it's a little bit of a mixed up deal. What it was before was that we took everything to the county highway, and the county highway worked on it, fixed it. And the problem we had was is that with the county highway, they're doing paving, or that they're doing snow removal. We had to take the car down and set for 2 weeks, where we can't have a car set for 2 weeks. You know what I'm saying? So what we did is we got permission from the commissioners to open up our own mechanical office, or mechanical shop, not office, mechanical shop down at the old John Jones building. And we have a reserve officer, Tim Hall, who is a certified ASE mechanic. And he's doing it for us for free. He did count for his reserve hours, like for being a reserve. So he counts for his reserve hours, he's doing that for free for us. And he's our mechanic. Now, what we also are gonna be starting up here just as soon as we can is we're gonna be having inmates, they're helping too, change oil, do minor stuff. But we're gonna be offering a mechanical degree, mechanics degree from the jail, and they will be teaching, I think Tim will actually be teaching these inmates how to work on cars, how to, just the basic stuff, obviously, oil, brakes, and that kind of stuff. So we do have to take care of, you know what I'm saying, his stuff, and we also take care of, where's Michelle?
Right here.
We take care of their stuff to the health department, because they let us use the building down there. But now the county highway, they take care of everything else, so they would take care of community corrections, you know, whoever else has got a car, they do it. But now those that we're associated with, we've just been doing it just for free gratis, actually. We picked up the bill for everything that they do.
There was one thing that you replaced on the vehicle I drive. It was something with the front wheels, and I didn't have a budget for it. So, you know, what I plan to do is, obviously, the work's free, but any kind of material, you know, those kind of things that we can pay for in this budget.
So I'm assuming for going forward for the next budget, we plan on having a line item for that.
Yeah, I plan on, if this gets approved, then I would just try to do the same thing for next year, from here on out, yes.
So we're creating the line item? We didn't do that last time, did we?
No, he's actually got a fuel line item, it doesn't have a whole lot in it.
I think there was, so what happens, I came from last year for a transfer for $750, and that got granted. Somehow this year, there was $750 in it again. So.
But if there's a fuel line, do we need to amend it to say maintenance as
Fuel
well?
and maintenance.
Fuel and maintenance. So we have the line item, so let's. Can I get a motion to change it to vehicle maintenance and gas? So is it the same line item right there?
Yes,
And I can
But-
honestly say that the amount of times I've been to Indianapolis this year, you would have probably, you would have paid me typically more in mileage reimbursement than we've spent on both cars with fuel so far.
Well, that was a question I had, discounting convenience and safety, which of course figures
Does the
in.
wording need
If
to
we
be
didn't
changed?
do this, we would be paying
Does the
mileage.
wording on that need to be changed?
Obviously, the maintenance part could, you never know what's got in the vehicle, that could be more expense. But the mileage, or the fuel itself, I think this is cheaper.
Sheriff, is the insurance for the vehicles that you gave him, is that still on here?
Well, it's what it is, the commissioners, and John can speak about that better. All the insurance is under a fleet.
Okay,
So everybody in the county is under the
Okay.
same insurance.
okay.
Did you get a motion? on
Lindy
that?
motioned. Second?
I'll second.
I will say this too, Lindy.
Mm-hmm.
They are still licensed under us. It's like if you ran that plate, it's a confidential plate, but if you ran it, it would come back to Scott County Sheriff's.
Yeah, it is a confidential
Okay.
plate, so someone who's out and they did it for safety purposes won't find out that it belongs to the Scott County prosecutor's office.
Okay.
And now
I
we
just didn't
need,
know if we needed to.
Okay,
take that
all in
into
favor?
consideration for line item.
All right, 7-0. Yeah, I already put,
now, do we need to make a motion on the 10,000?
yeah.
I'll make a motion that we put 10,000 into that account for maintenance and gas.
I'll second.
All in favor? 7-0.
Thank you.
Thank you,
I
Chris.
think that's it for me.
All right, Miss Jeannie, would you like to come up with the Scott County Partnership?
So I think I talked to this group, which it's changed since last fall sometime, and we were requesting funds. This is the first time the partnership has requested funds from the county, but each year, the city of Scottsburg gives the Scott County Partnership $65,000 to help with all manner of things in the partnership, and a major chunk of it goes to the clearinghouse. Most of the things that we do in the partnership are funded with other grants, but the clearinghouse is not. The clearinghouse is funded with individual donations and church donations, and so we're always kind of teetering right on the edge. So the city of Scottsburg, a couple of council members on the council indicated this past year that it's time that the city of Austin and the county start helping support this that serves the entire county and not just the city of Scottsburg. So that's partially what led me to come here to ask for funds, and it's certainly not asking for anything like what the city of Scottsburg is giving, but just kind of to help with that. And about 40% of the people who attend or come to the clearinghouse are from out in the county. They're not city of Scottsburg. They're not Austin. So we have a significant chunk of people that are being assisted that are not from the city of Scottsburg. So that's primarily what I was coming here to ask for funds for last year. And I don't know how much you want to, I just so that you know a little more about the partnership, I've made some this is another one here.
Give it to Eric.
This is a program catalog
I'm on
of
the
the
council.
things that we have, that we offer from the partnership, that the partnership does for the community in the areas we work in. And then this is just kind of our staff, so that you can know who works in the various areas. And like I said, a lot of what we do is grant funded. We work, our mission is to take action to create a competitive workforce, encourage a robust economy, gainful employment, and a high quality of life through initiatives in education, training, and support services. And a lot of what we're doing right now is in the area of substance abuse prevention, and that's prevention science. is a whole different kind of thing. It's not treatment, it's not recovery. It's working with youth, it's in the schools, doing evidence-based curriculums and programs to try to help kids delay the onset of use of any kind of substance. And so we are heavily involved in that. And you can read all about that. Back in 2002, the county received a CAPE grant, which was Community Alliance Promoting Education. And $1 million of that was invested with the community foundation. And from that interest money, we try to continue some of the programs that were started with CAPE. Some of that is reality stores, career clusters, but again, we're teaching this evidence-based curriculum in both middle schools, life skills training. And drug-free communities, that's all about substance abuse prevention again. We're JDAI program, a Juvenile Detention Alternatives Initiative, and that's actually your grant with Judge Mount, and they've contracted with us to administer it. So Heather Law is our employee, but does that grant on behalf of the county. And I don't know how much you've known about that, but because of that work, something like $80,000 has been saved in the past year due to fewer detentions of youth in the county. Then we have the Attendance Review Board, the Scott County Attendance Review Board. We work closely with the prosecutor on that, and that is a truancy reduction program, working with the schools, trying to help kids and their families of kids who miss a lot of school. We have a couple of case managers that work with that part-time. And then we have, of course, the clearinghouse, and that's on page 10. And you can see the impact in 2020 that we had. And I think a key thing, nearly 35% of all clients have been impacted financially by COVID. 28% of the clients are under age 17. 427 are veterans. 9% are elderly people. 54 families attended the budget class. And so when people get some kind of financial assistance, then they go through the budget class. And then we have Poverty Busters AmeriCorps program, and Michelle Shelton is our director of that program. And that just gives you a little bit about the partnership. I don't know if you have any questions for me.
Anybody have any questions?
So this is good reading if you can't sleep at night.
Thank you, Jeannie.
Yeah.
Mr. President, may I ask some questions of the council, John here, commissioners, and also Diane's kind of big on the food distribution and with the clearinghouse. A suggestion, just a suggestion only, is that if we could work with the clearinghouse, Diane and everybody and John that's involved with the food, that maybe we could give that out at the clearinghouse parking lot. Because a lot of times what we do is all those leftover boxes, we try to call the clearinghouse anyway, we deliver them to the clearinghouse to give to them the extra food that's there.
That'd be fine.
So that'd be something maybe,
Yeah.
and what we do is this, and I'm just looking at it strictly from a safety point of view, of having people that has to line up on 31 or wherever, you know what I'm saying, the traffic problems are. Had to put it down there, really out of the way, you know what I'm saying, we won't have no major traffic problems and major highways and stuff.
We could take a look at that.
Yeah.
How much property, and it's been a while since I've been out there, where you are located, how much property is around there?
Well, it's
John
all,
knows where I'm going with this.
it's all city owned.
City owned.
Okay. We don't own any of it. We're in city buildings.
I think quite truthfully, it's a space issue, and the fairground provides us a space. And I don't know where we park all these people at.
There is a big, I don't know how many people come, there is a big parking lot right down there by Well, across from the clearinghouse and right next to the DCS building.
Oh, it's nothing
I think
like,
it'd be
we'd
fair-
fill that up
Oh, really?
in 10 minutes.
Okay.
I think it'd be fair to say we have between 500 and 1,000 cars show up out there.
Yeah. 500,000.
500 to 1,000.
100 people.
But I mean, it's enormous, and it is a problem. Gary's right. We try to work very hard to get them off the highway. We have a gentleman who opens the gates up at 6:30 in the morning to get them in there, so. But
And
I
it's
think
really
he's
gone-
right, but I just don't know where we put everybody out there.
It's gone very well. Our truck driver was late this last time. He
Yeah.
was lost or something, I don't know. But until that time, we've been even starting early at 9:30. And 2 weeks ago, we started at 9:36 and we were done at 10:08. I mean, we just
Yeah,
moved.
yeah.
We have 2 lines. Now, this Saturday, it rained. We had to utilize the, one of the buildings.
They let us use one of their buildings for a drive-through.
Yeah.
So we had the
Yeah.
pallets put in there to keep it from getting
Sure.
wet. So we only had 1 line, so it took us a little longer this last
Yeah.
time because we got started late.
Right.
But usually we're in and out of there, we get them through there. I mean, I understand your concern there, but we do try to get everybody in and out of there as quickly as
Well,
possible.
if you felt like you wanted to try it, we'd certainly be open to it.
We are gonna have another one in 2 weeks, and then I've been notified we're gonna get 2 more for May. We are now getting approximately 4 food giveaways a month between the gleaners 55 plus, the other gleaners, and then the 2 farmers to families. They're doing that one basically month by month on the money for that. But, you know, we're getting food distributions basically 4 times a month now. You know,
Do
we're
you have
getting
all
that food
the
out there
budget numbers
sometimes.
together
We
yet?
have more people than others.
Sure.
So,
The
but with the
budget, you have them all
addition of
together?
those two
So we'll
a
table
month,
this and
we're
just,
getting that food out there, and
Right.
so it's helping, and I think, you know, we could take a look at it, but I think we really are doing a pretty good job out there, the way it is, the best we can.
Yeah.
But we could take a look at it.
I agree.
okay, do I have a motion to table this and we can check our funds after we all get to look at the initial end of budget? Motion? Ab, in a second?
I'll second.
Second.
All right, all in favor? 7-0? All right.
Is it, I guess not much too late now, but is it on some, you know, not agenda, but is it on something that we'll remember it? You know, we won't pass.
We'll table it, so it'll be at the next meeting. I mean, after we get to look at, because Teresa just got the budget numbers back.
Okay, so this will just be the next meeting?
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll speak of it again. What was I gonna say before that? Took my train. Sheriff Gooden?
I'm gonna sit right here today. I'll have to refer to my professional expert advantage that I do. Good to see you, buddy. Good to see you. Good morning. Thank you. Doing very well.
Oh, before we start. Just the whole fact of her coming in, since the city does give 65,000, and they're questioning why we don't give anything. If you all could think about just us giving a little, just so they don't lose that big lump sum, just on the record.
Yeah,
So we don't-
I'd be-
so
I'd
we
be in
don't have
favor
to-
of Something.
Have Jeannie coming to us asking for 60,000.
I don't think we could do that.
No.
Has skin in the game.
No, but if we give something that's more adamant of them not dropping the whole,
Yeah,
the
I'd be
whole
on
shebang.
board to give something.
Okay. All yours, Jerry.
Do you want me to follow what this is, or you want me to just go on with what I've got in a row? It's up to you, you know what I'm saying, on the agenda, if you guys got, or you would just, because I got this own thing laid out.
Just go ahead.
Okay, good deal.
We'll try to follow.
Good deal. First thing I'm going to give you my commissary report for the end of December 31st, 2020. I'm going to give all these to the president, and then she can pass around that copies, you know what I'm saying, for care. What it basically said is we took in $174,809.13, and we spent $266.04. At the end of December 31st, 2020, we had a outstanding balance of $30,153.32. So when I've got all that, you know what I'm saying, right here for everybody, I'm gonna let you have that, Rachel. Okay. If anybody got any questions on that.
That was a negative number.
No, it's a
No,
positive
not
number,
positive.
174. Is that right?
It's, at the end of the month, or at the end of the year,
Oh,
we had
ending balance,
30,000.
30,153 left.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. And I've also got that itemized by every single thing. I think, let me, if you don't care, Rachel, let me take a look at that, I'm sorry. Because,
What, you said you took in 174,000?
Yeah.
And you spent 261?
yeah, I'll have to let you look at this.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, we've got outstanding balances.
I'm sorry.
There was 58,000 to begin with, so that's.
Okay.
That's why I say she's the expert witness.
You got his letter.
Yeah, that's what I said. Make sure she's close, yeah.
She's,
You're
as
the
soon as
number
you start
one.
talking, she's like,
There you go, there you go.
That's exactly it.
Like the king, don't amount to a damn.
Right, it don't mean nothing, yeah. But it's like, the basic gist of this stuff is we're using, our commissary, I use it for basically equipment. So it's 152,000, 189 we use for equipment, vehicles, computer, uniforms, and all that kind of stuff. It's saving the, obviously, you know what I'm saying, the taxpayers' money. That's what the gist of it was. So just to let you know. All right. And then you guys all get a copy of this, you know, so you have that. All righty. Any other questions on that?
No, I'm good.
All right, next thing I want to talk about is we had to ask for additional funds to assist in paying some unexpected expenditures, and I think you guys got a letter of this. And I'm gonna give this to Rachel too. Right. That's all the receipts and stuff that's attached to that, so you want to see them, okay? Basically what it is, we had some unexpected expenditures as it rose out of the security center. One, we had one of our dryers went down, we had to use. Let's see, another one was 2 exhaust fan motors that went down, we have to have for air circulation in jail. Another one is fixing a mini split leak in the new jail, not the old jail, but the new jail. And then we made a new breath test certification COVID testing room in the Sallyport area of the jail. That was with the approval of the commissioners, obviously. And a new maintenance contract agreement by the Scott County Commissioners will be executed by SNL for 2021. That's still pending. Now Josh is going to submit that to you, and it's going to have our jail part in that, because he's going to do the whole county. It's like the jail, the community corrections building, the courthouse, it's all together in one thing. So he's going to submit that to you at his request or whatever it is when he comes in and says he'll take care of that. So you'll know what that is. Basically what I did is I went down through here and just put the receipts of what we spent exactly. For the dryer, it's $4,395. And, so I got a couple receipts that are the same too, right? I'm sorry. And then a copy of the check. And then for the Southport, let me talk about the COVID testing, the BAC Data Master room, okay? We had the BAC Data Master inside of the jail area, the booking area of the jail, where everybody has to walk into when you get booked in, okay? It's a breath test machine where you blow into it, all right? So what we were doing was we was taking the possibility of spreading COVID throughout the whole jail just for somebody coming in and taking a breath test because they're blowing into the machine, okay, or coughing, whatever they do. So what we did was that we turned a closet space that was being used, just stacked full of old county papers is what it was, just boxes of papers. We turned that into a BAC Data Master and also a COVID testing room. So what happens is this. Say we get somebody that comes in and they're a DUI test, they want for DUI. Then what we do is they don't even go into the building because this is outside the Sallyport. So if they fail it, you know what I'm saying, then obviously we'll proceed to process them on into the jail. But if they don't, if they pass it, okay, then we release them there. That's where we release that, and they go in and going back into the jail. So we don't have to do all that mess, okay? So also what we did too is this. We spoke with the health department, and we created a COVID testing room, okay, with the BAC Day Master. It's in the same room. Obviously, it'd be blowing a bit. That's where the less likely damage could occur if you're going to get somebody sick. So what the COVID testing room is this. We got approval from the state of Indiana to be able to test prisoners and our own employees when they come in. They said that they're giving us a instant test, one of the COVID instant tests, and I think it's within 20 minutes. Is that right, Doug?
I think so, ain't that 15?
15 minutes. we can tell if somebody's got COVID. So what that does for us is before we take somebody inside of the jail that has COVID, and we ask them, you know what I'm saying, hey, do you have COVID? We can test them in that room and I'm going to jail. So if they test positive, then we're on the phone with the judge saying, hey, can we release this person because we don't want COVID-19 in the jail? So it's really been tremendous for us so far. As a matter of fact, the health department's even used our room a couple of times where they've gave the vaccinations, and they're using that room area. And that makes it really handy because what happens is this, before when we would vaccinate prisoners, we had to take all of the nursing staff and all of the doctors into the jail, which is a major problem, obviously, because it's a lockdown facility. Now, we take the prisoners to the doctors and the nurses. Just makes a lot more sense, yeah. And I'm just gonna be honest with you, we did it spectacularly cheap. I'm just gonna tell you, it looks like it's gonna be about $7,000 for the whole room completed, is what we're gonna have in it. And that's with the new chairs, the new sink, the new everything. And I haven't got all the totals yet, but that's where it's gonna be at, around that, okay? I think you all know, we are actually lucky. We are one of the few jails in the state of Indiana that has not had COVID. That's in our population of the jails, and that's because of very strict policies that Doug and our jailers and our staff has implemented about people coming and going. So we've been able to, so far, knock on wood, you know what I'm saying, it could happen today, but so far we've not been able to have to deal with that, because if we had to deal with a COVID outbreak in the jail, we've got 180 prisoners. It's gonna be a minimum probably of a couple $1,000, you see what I'm saying, per prisoner to take care of, and that of course comes out of the county budget. So we have to do everything we can to mitigate that from happening. So as long as we can keep people out of that jail before they're tested, before they have the opportunity to come in and contaminate people, then that's the reason why we built the room and built the BSC data test. There's a total here of what I'm requesting back is $16,100, and that's everything all together. That's the stuff we had to fix because there was a leak in the new jail and one of the mini splits in the copper tubing, and then all them receipts are on there, Rachel, too, okay? There was a leak in one of those. We had to replace it. And then the exhaust fans. The exhaust fans are, what it is this. We have to have a certain amount of airflow throughout a jail for state regulations. They measure it, the chemical machine measure airflow. Well, what happened is 2 of those exhaust fans went out inside of the jail, so we had to replace those to keep the airflow, to keep the jail standards to where we were back at jail standards. So that's the reason why we had to replace those, fix that. And I was gonna ask you all this while I've got you here. I don't mind doing this, but if it kind of puts it kind of a little bit of a quandary for Teresa, you know what I'm saying? I've been paying for everything like this fixes out of my commissary, and then we just reimburse this. And the reason why I do that is because we take these local businesses, and I use everything local. That's what I try to do. Everybody, we use all business local, okay? So what happens is that the way the county government works, and it's nobody's fault here, it's just the way that the government works totally, we're 60, 90 days before we can pay these people. And a lot of these folks are small businesses, and they're waiting 60, 90 days, you know what I'm saying, to get their money, and that puts the hurt on them. So I go ahead and pay them, you know what I'm saying, because they need their money to be able to operate as a business. And then I just ask, just like this here, I ask for reimbursement. Now, what my question is this: if you want me to continue to do that, I'm more than happy to do that. You see where I'm coming from? But if you want me to go back to the old way of having to make them wait for 60, 90 days, you know what I'm saying? Because I don't buy anything or do anything that's not approved one by the commissioners, you know what I'm saying, or approved by you all anyway. So that's just a suggestion. I can go back and we can go back and billing it on the delayed cycle, but it just works out better for the local businesses this way. You tell me what you think.
I think, you know, you're paying for this out of commissary, so that's your money, that you need to budget that. What my concern, or my question is you just told us that you gave us the commissary report for 2020, and in that was equipment, vehicle maintenance. I'm assuming that includes building and vehicle maintenance, correct? Out of commissary?
Well, that's what we have been.
Right,
using.
well, I know that, so you use it, so why in April now are you coming in and ask, the dryer and the exhaust fans and fixing the mini split, that should be part of your commissary, so that shouldn't be something that we reimburse you
No,
for.
no,
That's
absolutely
maintenance.
not. No, I don't pay for maintenance of my commissary. That's
That's
out
what
of
I
the
just
goodness
asked
of my heart, yeah.
That's what I just
No,
asked
that's
you.
out of the goodness of my heart that I do it. That's what I'm saying. I do that so that the businesses will have their money. That's the only reason why I'm doing it.
So
That's what I'm
so
asking.
do you have a building line item?
Yes,
So why isn't it coming out of that?
it is. You know how much it is for a multi-million-dollar building? $10,000. You know how much it cost me to work on the elevators?
So-
$1,000 an hour.
So-
That's what they charge us to work on elevators.
So that's something that we need to look
yeah.
at then for the next time, but I just don't think, you know, that's something that should be coming out of your budget, the maintenance. Now the room, I think that's a fabulous idea, 100% behind that. I think that is taking the initiative to do that and to protect everybody, 100% behind that. I just have a problem with paying out maintenance, reimbursing you when that should be part of your, you know, if you don't have enough money in your maintenance budget, then you use your commissary budget.
That's what I've been doing. That's what I did,
So,
yeah.
yeah, right, but then the county should have to reimburse you for that, is what I'm saying. It should be
Why
part of.
wouldn't they?
it
I
should be
don't
part-
own the building.
It should be part of your
ask the
commissary.
question, how's the other buildings do it?
Well, yeah,
Well, they
I don't
take it
know,
out.
that, the buildings belong to the commissioners, and I always ask permission for them to do something, so
Mm-hmm.
if I'm getting, the only reason why I'm doing that, that's why I asked you if you want me to do that. The only reason, period, why that I'm paying for that maintenance out of my commissary is to accommodate the small businesses, so they don't have to wait 60, 90 days. I
I'm
don't
not
pay for commissary money out of my commissary, that's not
I'm not
part of the
talking
deal.
about, I'm talking
I'm
talking
confused about what you're saying.
I'm talking about where the money, you have a line item for maintenance, and I
Yeah.
get that it's only 10,000, right?
Mhm.
So you have the dryer that broke, and you have the commissary you can use for pretty much whatever you need, so budget that commissary.
No, I'm by state law.
I know, not by state law, you
Okay.
can't use salaries, but you can use it for maintenance, building maintenance. So budget that and use that to,
No, here's the reason why we don't do that.
it's not that you can't, you don't, right?
Well, I do, I have before. Let me tell you something. We remodeled the whole jail over there, okay? And most of that was spent with commissary money doing that. That's how we remodeled that, you know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
And I'll get into that a little bit because we had a jail inspection report.
Right.
But what I'm telling you is this, it's not my responsibility to maintain the jail, that's what I'm trying to tell you. That's the responsibility of the commissioners. I am renting the jail. Do you understand that?
So then
The
why do you
commissioners
have
own-
a building maintenance line at all then?
Because if we have something break, like a pipe break that we have to go to immediately and fix and all that.
So a gas dryer, a new exhaust, and a.
That $10,000 that was gone January the 3rd.
Okay.
I'm just gonna tell you this here, I'm not gonna argue with you because obviously you're not understanding what a commissary accounts for and
Oh, I
what the.
clearly understand what a
I don't
commissary
think
accounts
you do
for.
because
Yes,
you
I
wouldn't
do.
be asking me those questions that you did. And to John,
Sheriff,
and
and
I'm
yes,
glad
I
that,
do.
no, you don't. So, and I'm glad to be able to have John here because John will tell you, the jail's just a place that the sheriff rents. Do you understand that?
I understand
That is
that.
not the facility of the sheriff. That is the commissioner's facility. And that's why I'm telling you, all this stuff that I do is done by the commissioners giving me the approval to do it. It's just not that I'm out here doing this stuff
I
at
never said that
willy-nilly.
you were out there just doing it.
Okay,
That's
but-
not what I'm saying.
But what I'm trying to tell you is this, okay? I don't pay for stuff, maintenance in the jail out of my commissary. That would make absolutely no sense because that's what we use to buy equipment and stuff with. It's all, do you want to budget that? What we need to do is, we need to
But
go to
I'm
the
going off of
budget.
what you just told us with the 2020 budget that you used, equipment, vehicle, and maintenance. That's what and I just specifically asked you, does that include building maintenance? And you
Absolutely it
said
does.
yes. So then
For the
why is-
convenience of the local businesses to be paid. Do you guys understand what I'm
Here,
saying?
with a little bit of experience about this, with his commissary, he can just say, okay, I've got this broke, that broke, and he doesn't have to pay it out of his commissary. We have to come up with the money to pay for the maintenance of the building. If he pays it out of commissary, just to get the local business their money quicker, and we have to reimburse him, that's just something he's doing.
Out of the goodness of my heart, that's what I'm trying to tell you. I
But the
don't want you
thing
to
of it
understand
is,
what I'm saying.
understand.
but maintenance don't come out of commissary. It doesn't.
Okay, that's fine. I had to.
Can you pull it up real quick?
The way I understand, I
That's
wanna
fine.
make sure I understand, I think I know what she's saying, and I think I know.
Teresa's gonna pull it up.
So I
So you
just wanna
can,
make sure
I
I'm.
mean,
on the
it's
same
like
page.
she's saying he could, yes, he could.
I think
But
what
the-
Vicki's
but-
trying to say is there's a budget for the sheriff's department for maintenance of the building, correct? So I think I'm understanding her to say, why is that money not coming out of the maintenance budget?
Why? That's exactly
Well,
why.
it's because he wants to pay the local people so they can get their
And it
money
does
quick.
eventually.
Yeah, it does.
Okay,
eventually,
so
yeah.
then would
That's
it
it.
not, and there again, I'm just asking, I'm trying to understand. So then would it not be the best to then, instead of us putting more money and an additional appropriations, move money from the maintenance account that's
He's
already
saying
been
it's already gone.
allotted.
He's saying it's
If
already
there's
gone.
not enough to pay me back.
It's
for this.
gone.
It's only
You
$10,000.
started
Okay,
with
that-
10, and that's 16.
Okay, that's what I'm trying to understand, that's what I'm
Yeah,
trying to
that's it.
understand.
There's 6
So
in
that's
there.
already gone,
Mhm.
okay?
For the general purpose.
So, just in moving forward, that might be something for the next year's budget to make sure that, and,
We need more money in the maintenance.
yes,
line.
yes.
Yeah, I agree with that, yeah, totally.
Yes, yes.
Because the only thing I'm doing is doing it for the businesses, that's the only reason why I'm doing it.
Yes.
Otherwise, you know, I'd be bringing the bills, and the commissioners own the buildings, they have to pay for it, so they'd be telling me, you need to go to the council and give you whatever amount of money to fix the building, you know? I'm just trying to help out the businesses.
I'm not
and local
talking about
businesses.
the rate at which things are getting paid. I'm
Commissioners
asking,
have a
my
maintenance
concern is
line
us
item.
giving more money,
Yeah.
the county giving more money, why wasn't it budgeted? I mean, you know,
Yeah, it's not a budget.
you've been in office for
Tammy, how
however
much-
long.
Yeah,
Why-
3
Why
years.
don't?
How
why
much is
hasn't
in
the-
We have
why
asked.
hasn't the maintenance
Commissioners'
budget-
maintenance?
That's
We
my
have
question.
asked,
That's
yes,
my
we have
question.
asked, yes, and what happens is,
So why-
More money in is what you're saying?
I'm saying, I mean,
Yeah, we've asked
for,
them.
for
Yeah.
stuff like
Yeah.
this, why isn't that not, so then you can just go ahead and go, okay, it's broke.
I totally
we
agree.
Pay it out.
I totally
Then
agree.
We have nothing to, I mean, that's
That's-
your money, that's your budget.
And I totally agree with that,
That's
we've
how
tried
it should
that,
be.
that's how we
I'm
tried
fine
it, we've
with
done
that.
that.
That's 100%.
So I
But,
think
but either way, it's a wash, it's getting paid, it's just, we have to do,
But
just
he's
a
not, they're not
reimbursement.
coming and asking the county for it after we've already done budget and appropriations and we have the money. So it's already part of your budget.
Yeah, and I will say this, and Teresa's, I don't know where she went to, but she's here, here's the problem
And
is.
you budget it. the way you
Absolutely,
need
we
to.
budgeted, I put up, you know what I'm saying, I asked for about $100,000 a year to maintain that building, because that's about what it takes time to do
Right.
beginning to end with everything, it's maintenance, updates, change filter, all that stuff, right? Whenever they send it up to the state, then the state, like, Rachel said, President said, they chop it, you know what I'm saying, they send it back. Well, when it comes back, just because I don't have money in my maintenance, because the state cut it, you know what I'm saying, don't mean that I don't fix the stuff, I have to fix the
I
stuff.
didn't, yeah,
You see what I'm
I
saying?
didn't say that.
There's just, I think there's confusion on about the amount of money that's in the budget. We just need to budget more money in there, and I agree with that. We've been trying to do that.
Well, the sheriff has come to us with a request
If you did commissioners,
to
if there would be had maintenance, the
spend
commissioners, it'd
money
be county general.
out of the
Not-
commissary, reimburse the commissary, and that's the request you made. I'm supportive of that 100%. The money for the repairs
No, I mean
that we've
the-
been talking
the
about
rules of
eventually
commissary.
come from
Can
the
you print that
budgeted
out?
amount, once you reimburse. I move to approve the sheriff's request.
yeah.
Here's the problem,
I move to move the
here's
sheriff.
the problem with
That's
this, the
fine.
way
I just-
we're doing it now.
Right.
Like that.
Okay, so in equipment repair,
Hang on just a minute, Rachel. Here's the problem with that. Say, for example, like, you know, I'm not gonna, you don't care about the.
Just
diet.
generalities, yeah, just go, yeah.
Let's go with your, building your new addition, your, COVID room, okay? That's, you say you went to the commissioners and got permission from the commissioners and did that, okay? Did the building. Now, after the building's done, you come into the county council and say, oh yeah, by the way, we built this building over here, now you guys wanna pay for it. I said, we don't know anything about that building.
Well, here's the
We
problem.
need to know about that building,
I know what
you
you're
know,
saying. Yeah,
before, it's
absolutely.
like, you can't buy a car and then say, I'm going to the bank after I buy the car.
Right, yeah, and I agree with that. Here's my issue is this, though, see, I don't have anything to do with the building. That is the commissioners, and when John, that's something that the commissioners, you know what I'm saying? I come out, you know what I'm saying, at them, they tell me to go to the council, and, you know what I'm saying, ask for the money, to keep them from having bogging everything down, I'm assuming, I don't know that. you know
Well,
what I'm saying?
either way,
Mhm.
one of you needs to be.
Yeah, and I'm just gonna tell you this, that building belongs to the commissioner, bro, you know what I'm
I
saying?
know it
I
does.
just,
I
you
know
what
it
I'm saying?
does, I know it does. So you know, I don't wanna bog things down like we're talking about,
Right, yeah.
maybe bog things down and make it slower to pay. But we need to know, you know, before the things are done.
Right, and some
What's gonna
things
be
we don't
done.
have control over, Eric. I mean, a virus, we have
Oh, I
to
think
work
that's
with
great.
that as it comes. I mean, that's all we can do.
Yeah, that's unprecedented.
But I'm willing
That-
at
that-
budget time, if you guys are willing at budget time, to put that large amount of money in there for him to take care
I
of the
think it
building.
needs to, yes.
Well,
I
I'd
think it
rather do
needs
it
to
that,
be
I'd
you,
rather do it
and
that
then
way
it's
for
your-
accountability.
And then that way, if you.
You know, we need to
Understand
know.
that, but
Right, and if you
certain
blow through it,
things, that's what he
then
did
you blow
there,
through it, then-
we have no
Right.
control.
So they have
And we may
8,000
look
left.
at COVID money.
I know that this has been standard
I didn't
operation.
go to my commissary, because I blew through
Oh.
100,000.
So that shouldn't
And
be
if you-
standard.
see what I'm
I
saying?
totally understand.
We should have, we should be,
My-
we should be,
my-
we should
my
know where every
concern
dime
is,
goes.
You know, you have a budget.
Well,
and that
absolutely.
Because
everyone
we're the
has to-
bank.
But I
you
think
know,
that's
but
why
it
he's
should
at the
be-
table today,
I know it's their building.
to let us know where.
I know it's already
I have
built,
to maintain.
he's already built the building.
It had to
And
be.
who better knows how to
I
maintain
know,
it?
but, you know, you can still come in and say,
That-
oh,
We're on the
by
same
the way,
page.
guys, we
Yes,
need to do
just
We
this.
just did just different thing on it,
Yes,
because yeah,
so,
we do
but,
need
but
to.
that's,
We-
yes,
we
absolutely.
don't need to
That's
know
gonna
after.
be-
I'll just be
I
honest.
will,
It would be
I will
easier for me
second
if I
Raymond's
had to go through all
motion.
this to get the money back, it would already be there, you know?
Yes. So, I motion to.
I think Raymond did, and
Yes.
I
Oh,
second
did
it,
he? Oh. okay.
Yeah.
What was the motion?
The
To approve
reimbursement.
it.
the reimbursement.
This is out of special lit,
So this-
advertising.
That's-
lit
yeah.
special.
So is the,
Right.
is the room done then?
Yeah, it's done,
Yeah,
yeah,
that's awesome.
yeah,
Yeah.
we've been using it.
Is that right, Raymond?
And even.
She said where it come
when
out
this
of,
is
it's a
over,
little
because
special.
I know it'll be over soon. You're gonna spill my coffee and I'm gonna be really mad.
And it's gonna go on
Just
me.
have to go get you some more, there's no.
Okay, so Raymond motioned to approve reimbursement
That's
of 16,100.
amazing.
Is that what we're going with, the total?
Hold on a second, yeah, and then, what I'm gonna do is this, the final bill just come today, actually, to finish that room completely. I think we had less than $8,000 in the whole thing getting it done, and it was for $39.65. I didn't ask for that because I didn't have the bill yet, you see what I'm saying? So if you wanna add that to it,
Additional.
yeah, that's
We'll have-
just additional.
We'll have to re-advertise it, won't we?
To do that, it's no big deal, it's no big deal, but what, yeah, okay, that, I didn't know how you wanna do it, that's what I asked you before you.
So do we wanna hold off and table it till next meeting?
I'll advertise 16,100.
We could do the one and then
So we need to
advertise, and
re-advertise,
then do it next month.
Okay.
For next.
Or next time, let me,
Good with that. Okay, so the 39 will have to be.
Okay, so we're doing
Yeah,
the
that's no problem.
16,100 that Teresa advertised today from lit special purpose. And you seconded it?
Yeah.
Donnie seconds.
Just a different way of thinking.
wait.
All in favor?
Really, we need to-
6-0. All opposed? Or 6-1.
And Rachel, I don't know how we do this, but I'm with you. I think that this needs to be addressed for the budget next time. There's got to be more money needs to be put in for that maintenance fund for the sheriff's department for that building.
And I would appreciate that, because I'm just gonna tell you, it makes it easier for me. Because this is a hassle for me to come and ask you, if that money was already in the budget, you know what I'm saying, I wouldn't even have to come and ask because
I
it'd
don't
be.
know.
Well, it's not
No,
the
I don't know,
hassle,
but
it's
I
you being
would
able
suggest
to
that-
do what
I
needs
was
to
the
be
sheriff,
done.
that tickled me to death.
When it needs to be done.
You and you need to remember that budget.
$10,000 is not enough. I'll remember. Right, Bill.
And then, she's got, the president has a copy of that, of everything on this.
All right, moving on.
Yeah, next, okay. Okay, let's go to, since we're on the jail, let's just stick with the jail, okay? I have some very good news. We were inspected by the state jail inspector, in March, and we made basically 100% with a smiley face if we was in school, okay? We had 100% passage of everything was in compliance. The jailer, the jail inspector rather, told me that it was quite possibly the cleanest jail that he had ever been in. So we're very proud of that. And the reason why I say that is that as you're off to the council talking about the money, just the money that we save, hopefully, and she's in insurance, so she'll know this, the money that we save just on paying this insurance alone would probably pay a lot of bills, because your insurance rates, and she can tell you, goes by house, if you pass inspection, don't pass inspection, how many people you had died, blah, blah, blah. So we are basically, if they were the 94 jails or whatever it is in the state, we would be number 1 or 2. So we should be getting the best insurance rate of anybody across the state of Indiana. We should be getting the best rates, Scott County should do. So that's a very positive thing for us. And of course, you know, the jail battles have been going on forever, and who really cares about it, because that's in the past. We took a jail that was
getting ready to get closed down, we turned it into the number 1 or 2 jail in the state of Indiana. And that was my staff. And the important thing, remember like is this, we did this with inmate labor. We say, you know what I'm saying, inmates, they're very
We're a
talented.
5-star hotel.
Yeah, there you go. Thank you. So I'm very proud of that. So I think you've already got one of these, don't you?
I think
Yeah.
that was in
Did you,
our packet.
was it?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, I think
okay.
it was in our packet.
Yeah. So if you got any questions, matter of fact, something else I'm proud of, I'm very proud of Doug and his staff, obviously in the jail. I'm very proud of this. We have people calling us now, wanting to take tours through our jail, the other jailers. And we just had, what county was that? It was just down here.
Owen County.
Owen County just came and took a tour of our jail because they had heard through the state jail inspectors that our jail was so impressive that they needed to come and see it. So that's very positive for Scott County.
Absolutely.
Very positive. And one thing, last story, and I'll move on from that. We did so well that, and Doug, it's kind of funny, but it's not, it just shows you how that we're all in tune with each other, even the prisoners, because of the programs and the things we're trying to offer them. The prisoners took their mats off of their beds and used toothbrushes to scrub the rails of their beds so they'd make sure that it was clean, like the military does. You see what I'm saying?
Wow.
So I was very impressed with those folks, and I'm very proud of what's happened. So, and most of you have taken a tour of the jail, but, you know, say if you get a chance, come over, I'd like to take a tour. It's a tour, it's a tour, not an overnight stay, a tour.
Oh, okay, I don't want to stay.
But I would love to show you all, you know what I'm saying, what we've done if you haven't seen it. So I think it's impressive. And something else we did is we built a complete training center in the basement of the jail. We now have, and this is a positive for our economy, we have people that are going to be coming to Scott County to stay overnight to train in our jail.
Awesome.
In the training center. So those people come and stay overnight, they're gonna be spending money at the hotels, they're gonna be buying food. We're getting that money instead of us having to send people everywhere else to give them our money. They're gonna be giving us their money. That's the first time, obviously, we've been able to do that. So we're very pleased about that. And the reason why I say it too is it's all because of the folks that's sitting here, some of you, and then what you'll know as we're coming in, is what they allowed me to do as the council prior. We couldn't have done it without them. That's a thanks to the council, basically, is what I'm trying to say. Okay? Any questions on the jail inspection?
Great job.
Yeah,
Yes.
I would like to add, I do remember Richie Buchanan whenever he came before the commissioners last fall about insurance renewals with ISU. He reached out and quoted to different groups, and we actually went from Travelers to Liberty Mutual, and it was largely due to the savings that Liberty Mutual realized that they could quote us in the rate due to the past jail inspection from last year.
Oh, good.
So that was a savings to us because Travelers wanted to renew, and even with our current customer, they wanted to renew at a higher rate. But when Liberty found out our jail was compliant, it dropped us into a slot, and we had almost a flat line increase, and that's almost unheard of right now with liability insurance. And so we're looking forward hopefully to another year of a steady insurance rate with the incidents and things, and hopefully our workers' comp rate, which is another factor that we've all got in several departments, because we're high risk in a lot of departments that we've got to work on, but I'm hoping that we've got another successful year with the insurance quotes. Yeah, so that was very
Thank you,
good.
thank you, Tim, thank you.
Sheriff, we appreciate what you've done and what you're doing.
Well, and it's all because of you all, because you all allowed me to do it. I couldn't have done it if I didn't have the money, you know what I'm saying? So, and the savings to the taxpayers needs to thank you too, because the taxpayers took a lot of faith in allowing us, because there was a $5.5 million estimate, you know what I'm saying, on redoing that jail. We did it for about $600,000,
Right.
and that's including the new training center. So, and again,
That's
it's because of the
amazing.
inmates.
Yeah.
It's because of the inmates. They did it. So
Put it
proud of
on
them.
your program out here at the health department for the mechanics. Has that already started, or are you
No.
getting ready to start?
That's getting ready to start. Here, I'm glad you said that, because that's something when you talk about the programs in the jail too, that's great. Actually, that's getting ready to start. We had continued our programs in the jail, but what we did is we've been doing everything by Zoom. So all the living free classes, the Christian classes that people want to come in teaching, our GEDs, we've been doing, everything is continued on, just like it was normal. And we did that we purchased TVs and Zoom, you know what I'm saying, where we just wheel them in there, they do their Zoom meetings by that. And I was told by the jail inspector, he thinks that we were probably maybe 1 or 2 other jails in the whole state that's even doing that. They just shut everything down and said, we're done. So, but we've continued to do those programs to offer for the inmates to try to get them over that hump. So, and then what we've done is this, we just got confirmation from Ivy Tech that they want to do a welding class at the end of May with our prisoners. But that's something we've got to discuss that, and we'll discuss it with the health official, because I don't know at the end of May where this COVID thing is gonna be at, and I don't want, you understand what I'm saying?
Right.
So that's something we'll be talking about. So we've got a welding class that we can do, we've got a CNC class, and what CNC is, and I didn't know this myself, it's maintenance, industrial maintenance, where they go and work on machines and stuff. They're offering us that class, and some other
sorry,
classes
what's
too,
that?
at our point.
CNC,
CNC, yeah,
Okay.
Charles Nancy Charles.
Okay.
industrial maintenance.
And I don't know what it is. If you know what it is, you know what I'm saying, you can tell me what it is. But it's basically working on machines inside of the factory. So we're gonna be able to do that. And then, what we're getting ready to start, and I'm very proud of this, and I'm very proud of Doug and his staff, because they've all been on board with this. We are getting ready to start another program for our inmates for opioid addiction. We're getting ready to start a Vivitrol program, okay? It's all gonna be by donations, it's all gonna be, anything gonna cost taxpayers a penny. And what's gonna happen is they go through a 6-week program through our jail, and it's a 6-week rehabilitation program, just as like the ones we're doing now with the JCAP that's going on actually now we have. Jail Chemical Addiction Program that we got the grants for, okay? We are gonna mimic that program, okay? And we're going to teach those classes, and at the end of those classes, what we're going to do is we're going to be giving a Vivitrol shot to those people who qualify. Vivitrol is, and I'm not a doctor, but basically what it does is it's like the old Antabuse, where you take it and you can drink or whatever it is, and you don't get the high or whatever it's off of it. It's for 30 days, that's what it is, it's 30 shots. So they can get out of jail, do what they're gonna do, and it ain't gonna help them, because they got this Vivitrol shot. Now, what we did is this, to make sure that this program was successful, what we have done is this, we've reached out and we've been planning this, and not putting pressure on Doug, but it's all on him, you know what I'm saying, to make this thing work good, but it's going to. We've worked with Advanced Medical, that we already have the contract for. They are gonna come in and administer shots, do everything we need to do the psychological, and we can do that with Life Springs. And all of the bills that we incur from this program, we received a grant, it's not a grant, it's a program that ISA, the International Sheriff's Association, is running. All we do is we document those bills and we send them to the Indiana Sheriff's Association, and they reimburse us for everything. So we're gonna take advantage of that. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna run that for men and women constantly, simultaneously, you know what I'm saying, 2 classes going on at the same time for men and women. So that's another program we're gonna be offering, you know what I'm saying, for that. So basically what we wanted, and I've talked to Chris about this too already, prosecutor. Basically what it is this, on this Vivitrol class, real quickly here, they don't get time cuts, they don't get no credit for it, it's nothing. It's something that they have to want to do themselves.
That's good.
So that they're not trying to just do it to get out of jail, they're doing it to get help. Does that make sense? So, and I think I'm very excited about it, I'm just gonna be honest with you, because we've seen there's a place in Michigan that said they've got over a 90% success rate with this program. That's amazing.
It's Wayne County.
So, what's that?
It's Wayne County.
Wayne County? Okay. So we're trying to model after theirs is what we're trying to do. That's what we got. Good. So that's just to let you know what's going on with that, okay, and what we're doing, offering, and what we're getting ready to do. And that's part of the mechanics class. We have found a place online that teaches, you can get a certification with a mechanics degree online. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna put those folks who want to get a degree in auto mechanics, we're gonna offer that class, and then the hands-on portion would be with Tim or whoever it is down there working on our car.
Great.
So that's what the plan is.
I'm assuming you'll do a press release when that.
Yeah, we will.
When you get ready to start that.
Yeah, that's
All right.
So, all right, I'll move on then. You guys are tired here about all this. I'm just proud of it. I'm just gonna be honest with you. I hate to, you know what I'm saying, that way, but, let's see here. Next thing. This is something I want to talk to y'all about another line item in our budget. With the, corrections business evolving as we know it today. We had a prisoner that was actually in Florida, and we got the Transport America, is what it's called, PTS of America U.S. Corrections. They actually transported that prisoner for us for $1,767.50. That's the whole kit and caboodle. When they release him from the jail down in Florida, he is Transport America's responsibility until they walk into our jail with him, feeding him, whatever it is from that transport. So, we can't do that because we would have to send 2 jailers obviously down there. We can't send 2 jailers to Florida. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna have to spend $3,000 or $5,000 for this thing, so we're just transporting one person. We was able to use those folks to be able to do it. Now, here's the deal on it. We don't have a line item in our budget for transport costs, prisoner transport costs. So what we did was, is we used it out of, Amy, where did we pull this money out of?
Commissary.
Okay, yeah, we pulled it out of commissary, you know what I'm saying, which is no big deal. I'm not worried about that because this is something we wanted to test to see if it's gonna work, you know what I'm saying? So but in the future, what we're gonna do is I want to try to make a line item in our budget for prisoner transports. Because what we can do with that is if we get somebody in Arizona, we get somebody in California, and the way people travel now, it's nothing to travel across the states. And we get long distance, we would only use those for long distance trips, those
Is that a
companies.
contract that you have to sign with them?
No, it's
or-
individual. It's individual. What we do is we broker it like almost like a semi-load. We put out that we've got a prisoner, there's 2 or 3 companies that does this, is what we charge us to go here, and we shop around and get the best price. But we will say this company in Duck Top, they're the most reputable, you know what I'm saying, company that there is and that we think is doing it, so. But it worked out well, so that's just something if you all can think about. I don't know if you can even talk about it now or
Is it a
not, but.
flat, is it a flat rate per,
It's by mileage, they charge
by
us
mileage?
a certain amount by mileage.
And then on top of
That should be a
that, would be
budget
the
item.
food and
Budget
and
item,
all
wouldn't
that
it?
stuff?
That's all included.
It's all
It's
included.
all included in the mileage.
What happens is when they picked this person up in Bay County, Florida, okay, just as soon as they walked out of the Bay County jail, they gave it to this corrections company. And it's their responsibility until he walks into our Sally Port. They take care of him. If he escapes, it's their problem. If they have to feed him, if he gets hurt, whatever happens, he's their
So that
their
company
problem.
is, that company is a flat rate per mile, doesn't matter where they come from? Okay.
If I may, this is something we deal with every year, a bunch of times.
This-
You know, somebody's
this
picked
item
up somewhere, we have to
talk about
decide
it, but-
whether to go get them. or
Yeah.
not. This is-
Yeah, I just want to throw it out.
For years, this has been an issue, and I think if, they definitely need a line item in their budget for those costs, because that's something we use every single year.
I get it, I know what you're saying.
When you, Sheriff, when you do the budget, or when you get ready for that, can you give us an idea of how many, I mean, I know it's
Yeah.
hard, but, you know, how many, so we're not lowballing you like the
Like the
maintenance?
maintenance, yeah.
So we have a general idea, a pretty good idea of how many long-distance transports, you know, so that way it's covered. And I think that's a lot of the problem.
Or at least mostly.
Well, yeah,
Yeah,
but.
the best
so
we
that-
can,
Yeah,
the best we can.
I mean, I know you can't. All right,
It's all about saving money, and I'll be honest with you, we got 2 people that's transporting a prisoner, and the prisoner, obviously, you know what I'm saying, has to stop the FBM every time they get out of that car, every time that's a liability to us, big time. So,
Yeah,
actually, it
worth
makes
it.
more sense.
Worth it for the safety.
Yeah, so we'll talk about that, I guess, at budget time, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
You have a transfer? What are you gonna do next?
Let me see what's on your agenda. Transfer request. I don't know that we have a transfer request. Yeah, I think it was the monies that we did before, the commissary monies is what it was.
This is 1,300 from postage line to
Oh,
office
okay,
supply
I know what you're
line.
talking about. Yes, okay, yeah. We've got some extra money in our postage, and we want to put it over into our supply line. That's what we want to do. We just want to move it. It's no new appropriation, it's just moving the money over to another line.
Motion?
Move to approve.
Raymond? All in favor? Is that 7-0?
No, I said yes. I don't know who you seconded.
Lindy?
did we already do the drug buy money?
Not yet.
Okay. I got lost in my papers.
Yeah, well, I skipped on you though, because I jumped around, I messed you up, so. Alrighty, transfer petition, okay, one thing I want, I'm sorry, Rachel, are you done?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm trying to get ahead of you there, but, one thing I want to tell you folks about is this, with the approval again of the commissioners. On May the 22nd, we are going to be having a sheriff's, evidence surplus auction. So basically what it is, basically what it is we are gonna be selling all those items that we have in our evidence that don't belong to us and don't belong to anybody else. And we're gonna be having an auction, and the city of Scottsburg is actually, they've donated the Mid-America Science Center to us to be able to do that for free.
When is it, May what?
May 22nd,
And you're gonna advertise?
Yeah,
all
we'll
this
start
stuff?
advertising heavily here pretty soon. So we've got, what we'll have is basically, we're gonna have jewelry, guns, coins, gold, silver, anything of value. And I also spoke to the commissioners, and we've got a bunch of stuff that we had moved down to the John Jones lot, this junk stuff, that it was moved down there because we was gonna have the county auction, that's why it was down there. And then, of course, the county auction had to get canceled for COVID. So I got the permission on that same day, they're gonna do the gun auction and all that in the morning. In the evening, they're gonna go out to the John Jones building, we'll auction off all that stuff that we had parked down and get rid of that. So that's on the same day. So that's some good news on that. So, all right, next. Let's see here. Oh, yeah, here's another policy that we got going on, and again, this is, Doug had to leave it to his wife to the doctor. We have worked a deal with the state of Indiana, and being insurance, Lindsay may know this too, that, and you guys have got a copy of this from the last meeting, I think. I just don't have it, I didn't talk about it the last time, this was last year, because it was when the commissioners had signed it. The commissioners already signed the agreement and everything. Basically what it says is it's simple enough, that if we get a prisoner inside the jail and they develop a long-term sickness or illness, the state's gonna come in and allow us to sign them up for, Medicaid, Medicare, or
I
whatever.
remember you talking about that,
Yeah.
yeah.
And they're gonna pay for it. So that's another good positive, you know what I'm saying, thing we got going. Okay, next will be the, last thing on your guys' thing, is the drug buy ordinance, okay? And I'm glad John's here too, because this is for them guys too, this is theirs. Back in 2015, the ordinance number is 2015-003. Scott County enacted an ordinance that said, basically for drug buy money is what it was, where it's gonna come from, who's gonna be in charge of it, and all that kind of stuff, okay? So basically, the gist of it says that, in that section 1 of that ordinance, it says that, that the county is to establish a special non-reverting fund to be known as the Scott County Sheriff's Office Drug Buy and Covert Investigations Cash Fund, into which be deposited $1,000. This amount shall be maintained throughout the period of the fund's existence, okay? The problem we have is this, okay? $1,000 ain't, this is not, this is 2021, you see where I'm coming from? But if the commissioners have to maintain that $1,000, so it's like, they have to maintain $1,000 in there, you know what I'm saying? The only problem we have is this, we were using buy money again, out of our commissary, you know what I'm saying? We were using buy money, and the State Board of Accounts said, no, you can't do that. The reason you can't do that is because you have a county ordinance that says you have to use buy money out of this ordinance, because the county said you had to. So what we have to do is just actually transfer money, yeah. We'll need at least to start out, we'll probably say we need at least 10,000 to do this. And again, it's by county ordinance, because I was using our commissary money before, which, you know what I'm saying, we can't do, they said. So I don't know how, that's obviously your guys' thing, what you think you want to do, or?
Have to be advertised,
Okay.
and then we'll go from there. And where can we bring that out of? Can that come out of where? What do you suggest?
I would like to look through our funds to see where the state is a little strict on. There's already a fund set up for the drug buy, but I caution council from moving from a tax-rated fund like general fund over to. So I'd like to do some research and advertise it for the next meeting.
Okay.
No,
Need a motion to table that now?
that is for,
Undercover.
no, no, I'm saying, like,
We didn't vote on it or
I'll say
anything,
that
so we
budget
shouldn't have to.
$1,000, you
I'll
can,
add it up, yeah.
but I'm saying that you need to keep at least 1,000 in there.
Yeah, it has to have about maintained all the time.
Okay.
Yeah,
So 10,000, you can only use 9 of it,
yeah.
just so I'm clear. I
Yeah,
understand.
and that makes sense too. Can you tell the rest of the board what you just said about the 1,000 maintained?
Yeah, so the line item has to keep $1,000 in there, so if at budget time, we approve, or how it gets approved, $10,000 in that drug buy money, he can really only use 9,000 of it. He cannot go below the $1,000. So he has to keep that. So he needs to take into consideration how many drug buys he does, what the going rate is at budget time to come up with a good number, because it sounds like you can't really legally transfer from anything to that. So it's, you gotta kind of be right on point with that one.
Yeah, yeah, that's fine. That works. Alrighty,
It's funny, the going rate.
Well, it is, the going rate.
It's sad, you don't think we have to talk about it, but you
So we
know.
table that? Did we table that?
Yeah, it has to be advertised, and we need to talk about it and which fund it's coming out of, or which line item. Somewhere out of special purpose or lit somewhere, I hope.
Okay. More than $1,000.
You have anything else on your list?
Yes. Come on now, you know better than that. You know better than that.
So next time we'll have the sheriff go last and all these poor people go first.
I'm sorry, I'll apologize to them. Last thing I want to tell you about was the commissioners again. John's here and Mike and those guys are not, but passing on. I wanted to give a big thank you for them. What we have done is we have established a safe exchange parking zone over here in front of the jail. And what it is this, it's painted off, says safe exchange only. Because every week on Saturdays and Sundays, we deal with child custody issues. So people call and say, hey, I need a policeman out here at McDonald's because I'm afraid to take my kid out there because I'm afraid my ex-husband or whatever hurt me. So what we've done is we have got a safe exchange area out here. It's got a camera on it 24 hours a day. So what we tell people is, and we have not put it out yet because we're waiting on one sign to come in, but we'll put out any transaction with kids. They can do it right back here at the jail. It'll be on film. There's a spot for it. And also we use it for social media buys. Like if you're buying off eBay or whatever it is, and you can come to that area and it's gonna be on video and it'll be ran all the time.
You can put a thing on Facebook that they could do their safe buys there too.
Yeah, that's perfect, yeah,
You'll be safe.
right. Yeah, exactly. So,
Red paint out there.
yeah, I wasn't gonna mention that, John.
There's gonna be a line, it's gonna get out there, there's gonna be
Yeah.
a line, you talk about the line for the food, there's gonna be a line.
Probably build 2 or 3 of them or
I
something.
could have used that a few weeks ago, and I drove all over the county trying to find a purse.
Well, that's what we got. So now you don't have to worry about it. It's there. So, but I wanted to thank the commissioners for that, for allowing me to take those 2 parking spots. We took 2 parking spots. Of course, it was built again. We used the money for all the stuff out of the commissary, and we used the prisoners to do it. So just information on that. So, okay, last thing. I wanted you all to know it's coming up mowing season. It's coming up mowing season. And again, I'm glad John's here. So, I don't know if the new folks understood everything that we did with the sheriff's office for our prisoners about maintaining the county facilities and mowing and all that, okay? But essentially, the sheriff's office, I took it up on myself to mow every piece of property that the county owns, except the big field that's out at John Jones, you know what I'm saying, the big open field, and the, county highway, that big old field they've got. So, all the other stuff, we've been maintaining that, okay? I just been eating it. We pay for the gas, I pay for my jailer, you see what I'm saying, to be out there with them. I've been doing that, okay? So, I just want to let you guys know that.
Might add, you took care of Pigeon Roost all last year too,
Yeah.
and the cemetery board has accepted that in.
Okay, good, so we won't have to do that this year then, yeah.
And
So-
we may have to give them a new mower.
Okay, good. Because, and that's a lot of properties. If you had to pay for that, you know what I'm saying? Because the county, of course, I know right now does not even have a mower. Actually, the prior sheriff bought a mower. That's what we've been using. So that and a couple other mowers we've got up on our LISO program. So just information on that. I don't know what it would cost you to contract the mowing. You know what I'm
So
saying?
you
I
just
took it
rolled
away.
over what, basically
Everything.
when Kenny was doing it, you just expanded it?
They actually were just mowing like the courthouse.
Well, that's what
So
I mean,
we
you're
expanded,
expanding
yeah,
it.
we just expanded,
So you
that's all we
took-
did, yeah. So we expanded to all the county properties to save the taxpayers money, and we've been eating that. I don't want no money back for it, that's not what I'm telling them for, you know what I'm saying, we're gonna do that, okay, that's it. No, we're good. Also, I wanted to let you guys know that through our LISO program and through the things that we've been able to do, we've got this county a $70,000 semi, $35,000 forklift. We maintain of course, the John Jones Health Department. We also built Josh Caldwell, I had my prisoners with Josh Caldwell when they had to do the new COVID for the hospital, for the county. My prisoners was ones that basically did most of the labor out there, did that, saves the county, you know what I'm saying? It's probably 20, 30,000 just in labor costs. We painted Chris's office for him, he's gone. But also, I've got some cars. I've got 2 cars that I gave to the prosecutor's office. And I also have got a car that I gave to Andrew, our IoT guy. I purchased him a car. It was actually a work van, whatever it is, you see what I'm saying? I purchased that for him. And again, I don't know, we're eating that. Am I right, Amy? We've got he's using our gas card. He's using everything. We're paying for it all. Okay, so I wanted you to know that. Just information, just for, you know, what that would cost a year, okay? And we also paid some debts off that the sheriff's office had, and we built virtual courtrooms. Was the virtual courtrooms up when you guys took the tour? They was already there, weren't they? So basically what it is this. You probably remember in the past, they would have the line of shame that would come from the county jail over to the courthouse every day, you know, lined up. We don't do that no more, okay? What we do is this. We've got rooms inside of the jail that we built courtrooms in, and they do it by Zoom. And the judge sits there in his office, and the prosecutor and the defense attorneys, and the prisoner sits in our Zoom courtroom, and they do everything over the air, over Zoom. So we don't have to worry about prisoners escaping, prisoners picking up, no, prisoners doing all this stuff, you know what I'm saying, over and back to the court. So, and we did all that with the labor of our prisoners did all the labor. So we're using these folks inside of the jail. We're trying to teach them skills. Of course, building skills and all this kind of, that's what the goal of it is. So when they get out, they can get a job. What we've done is we have just went into surge employment, surge is it called headhunters? Is that what they're called? The people that do. Okay. So we've got with surge. They told us they wanted us because they'd seen what we were doing with our prisoners, with teaching and discipline and all that. They wanted us to send us our prisoners when they got out of jail. They wanted us to send their prisoner to them. They gave us the flyers, the pamphlets, and everything for a job. So, and then we've also got some local folks that had contacted me wanting to know if I would send prisoners to them when they got out of jail to work. And they said that they'd seen what we were doing, training these folks and giving them the chance, you know what I'm saying, to do something. So, and it's worked out real well for us. We've seen a significant, you know what I'm saying, change in our populations and with things people are doing. So Rachel's tapping her watch. I think that means she's telling me to hurry up. I think that's about it. What I do have is, and I'm gonna do this next time because it's getting long-winded and I apologize for that. We do have a criminal state of the county. It's called criminal state of the county, or state of the state, or whatever it is, you know what I'm saying. We have that criminal state of the county. And I'm gonna give that to you guys and with the commissioners, you know what I'm saying, at their next meeting and where we're standing with intelligence and where we're standing with problems and what our problems are and all that kind of stuff, show what we've done. And I'm happy to say, and again, it's because of the men and women that's dedicated their lives to it, that we've seen some significant positives for the county. And stuff that we can advertise on the news, we can advertise in the newspapers of being, you know what I'm saying, a safe county. So we'll present that, and that's something that we can work with whoever with to get that, whatever they want to do with it, the stats and all that out. So I think that's it for me. Did I forget anything?
Probably.
Blew my list out of the water.
Yeah, sorry about that. Sorry. So, if you all do not have any questions for me, and the president's looking at everybody saying, you better not ask a question, I will leave you alone.
We appreciate the good work and getting these people back to where they need to be.
We'll keep it up. Like I said, I appreciate everything that you guys have been doing.
Appreciate the update.
No problem.
Appreciate what you're doing, Jerry.
Thank you, brother. Thank you.
I want this body to recognize it appropriately here one of these days. I don't know how we'll do it, but we need to do that. Right?
Yep.
We will. I don't know how, but
That's right. Here's the thing about it is it's all because of I've got dedicated people over there.
It's the whole program. Yep. Yeah.
So,
we recognize.
appreciate it.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
But we need to do that.
Any questions?
I don't know how.
Nope.
We can come up with something.
Yep.
Appreciate all the information.
I'm out of here. I'll see you. Thank y'all. I appreciate you.
Go rest.
Yeah. If you need anything, just call me. I always say that. You don't need anything, just call me. And that have not been on a tour too. If you want to take a tour, I think it'd be a good thing for you to come and see what we're doing.
Thanks, Sheriff.
Sorry.
All right, Miss Michelle Matern with the Health Department.
How are you guys?
Wonderful. How about you?
Good. Right, so, just a couple short things here. You should have a grant request. This is a federal grant program filtered down to the states. A lot of local departments got an additional dose of Moderna to provide a clinic on a weekend, which was April 10th, so it's already passed. And with that, they gave us a little bit of like extra grant money. So the commissioners approved to accept it last week and come to you guys now. It'll just be amended, Teresa, it'll be amended into our current grant, that 8902. So again, we use that for salary, overtime stuff, any kind of extra supplies that doesn't come in the ancillary kits that we get from CDC, things like that.
Motion to approve? I'll motion it.
I'll second that.
Donnie
Then
second.
the commissioners.
All in favor? 7-0?
And then with that, on that same note, I came to you guys a couple months ago about a COVID-19 overtime payment policy. We had previously said the end date would be April 30th. Now with more vaccine being available, Indiana opening up to 16 and older, we're having more clinics after hours on weekends to accommodate those groups. So I have asked that the extension be till the end of July, just because when we do Moderna, it's 4 weeks. So like right now, I know I'm already gonna have clinics on May 8th and May 15th. So it's just an extension on that policy, and the HR consulting firm is good with it as long as we have an end date on that. So
That's correct, that's perfect.
And again, the commissioners did approve that last week as well.
So we're gonna put it July 31st.
July 31st, yes.
Did,
Have a motion?
Motion. Do you have a question, Donnie?
really not on that. I went to the motion.
All right, a second?
I
To
think
extend
Ab-
it to
I think
Ab?
Yeah.
Ab second?
What was the motion?
To extend it.
First.
Right now it expires at the end of April.
Who made the motion?
Wendy? Ab seconded. All in favor? 7-0?
Yeah, my question was, did they stop the Johnson & Johnson for right now?
Yes, so I just got that notification before I came here. They're just pausing it to just do some further investigation. So there's been about a little over 6 million Johnson & Johnson vaccines distributed in the United States. And 6 people have developed this rare blood clotting disorder, or I don't want to say it's disease because it's not prolonged, but incident. And so they're pausing it, doing more research, looking into that, seeing if it's something that's just a coincidence, or if there's, something to it where maybe it's not safe. Or maybe it's not safe for certain age groups. All 6 were found in women. I think it was like 24 to 48 on the ages where so it may be something like if they have a pre-existing condition or something like that, they shouldn't take Johnson & Johnson. So they're just pausing it, which is good,
Yeah.
That's the purpose of, the FDA. So we did unfortunately transition what was going to be a Johnson & Johnson vaccine clinic this weekend to Moderna. So working on just calling everybody and seeing if they want Moderna now instead of Johnson & Johnson. Don't really know when that will be overturned or if it will be overturned, so we'll just pause.
Will they require that they have 2 of the Moderna if they did the Johnson & Johnson?
I don't know. No, it's still effective. It's just, they probably just need to be monitored for blood clots. So like, anybody that's gotten Johnson & Johnson, like you're fine, you're still gonna get that protection from the vaccine. It's not saying the effectiveness isn't good, it's that they've seen this blood clot issue in some people, so they want to pause and make sure that it's safe, because we know blood clots can cause major issues if they get in the wrong place. So.
And they're still saying 90 days out from diagnosis?
So as long as
asking
as long as you did not get a BAM infusion, which was the molecular antibody transfusion, you go to the hospital. It's basically synthetic antibodies. You get it within your first 10 days of getting COVID. As long as you didn't get that, you can get your vaccine anytime after you're considered recovered from COVID. So, just at least, your 10 days are up, basically. So if you got COVID today, waited 10 days, and then you want to get the vaccine on day 11th or 12th, then you can do that.
That's why I've been waiting.
Yeah.
I had to wait 90 days.
Nope. It was preferred there for a while because the vaccine was so short. So it was like, if you had COVID recently, like wait, because you have your own antibodies. But now that vaccine is so widely available, yeah, just whatever.
Are you taking the vaccine appointments through your office now or no?
Yeah, we will help people if they are not able to do it themselves. The state still hires what's called 211. So just like 411, you just call 211. They'll help you make an appointment. But we help people all the time too. Yeah.
That's pretty simple.
Yeah.
I did.
I was scheduled for that Johnson & Johnson, but.
Well, you'll probably get a
Rescheduled for
call
something else.
from somebody, if you're scheduled at our site, you'll be getting a call asking if you want to keep your appointment or if you want to go somewhere else. So. And then, since we're talking about vaccine, Pfizer, which was the first vaccine that ever got their EUA, they just applied for an EUA to do 12 and older. Right now it's for 16 and older. So if that happens, we may get some vaccine of Pfizer and maybe like see if schools have interest in that. Of course, parent consent, nothing's mandatory. But that would be exciting because that would open up a new age group of people that could get vaccinated. So we'll see. Lots of changes over the last
We
48 hours.
appreciate your guys' hard work out there.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes.
I wanted to thank the health department, when we had the warming stations.
Uh-huh.
I know it's warm now, but
Yes.
it wasn't there for a while,
Yeah.
and your donation of the masks
Yeah.
for the warming centers. And then also your help with, I work with the Homeless Coalition as well, and your help with those vaccines for those folks as well.
Yeah, I wish we would have had a little bit better turnout, and we were gonna try to do a dinner next week that the homeless go to, but we were gonna do Johnson & Johnson,
Hey,
so.
anything that we can get for those people that they want or need.
Right,
I mean,
absolutely.
They're just, it's not they've got a bad
Yeah.
stigma attached to that, but
They do.
anybody can be, I think I read one of the statistics that 40% of the United States is 2 paychecks away from being homeless.
Yeah, and I mean, especially
So-
after the year that we've had, a lot of things, a year ago, things were not a good place, so. Thank you guys, that's all I had.
Thank you,
So,
Michelle.
you guys have a good day.
You too.
We appreciate the job you folks are doing out there.
Thank you, Raymond. You guys have a good one.
Like quicker than the other, good.
With this COVID.
Yep. Yeah, they've done a great job.
About it.
She's good. She's very good.
So
She's
we
kept it
need
all
to-
together.
We need to recognize that.
Go ahead, yes. We have a 4-H'er to talk to today.
All right, this is Purdue Extension.
Yeah, okay, so my name is Ben Watson. I wanted to let you know about the junior leader, no, the Teens Teachers group that I'm a part of. We had 4 kids go to represent Scott County and we learned about teen teachers. Our group focused on like healthy living and stuff, and we did a couple activities. We learned how to teach others about mindfulness, and one of the activities we did was, this was more for like younger kids, so when kids come home or wake up or whatever, they have lots of thoughts, so like the sparkles are represented for that. So then normally they get like shaken up during the day, and whenever kids supposed to come home, they need to relax, and so that kind of just helps them like watch it and like relax them. But we also learned other activities to do for like older kids and adults. And we also wanted to know if you had anybody you wanted us to present to, we could do that. And so thank you. for
Thank you.
helping us.
Thank you.
Is that it?
Yeah, so she's saying that because your money that you give the 4-H group help pay for those kids to get this, and they're actually presenting in May. They're doing these calm down jars with a group of mini 4-H kids, and like she said, they have other things like for older kids and adults. If you guys had, any kind of meetings that you would want a guest speaker at, takes like 20 minutes.
Thank you for taking care of our littles and being involved. It's awesome.
This is also she's a junior leader as well, so we threw this together for you guys. We had a food service project, so there's just information on that. Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for your presentation.
Okay. Are you coming up? That was all we're doing?
Yeah.
Okay.
They're
Just
all out.
sorry.
Yeah.
Next time, let's thrill. the jail down further on the agenda.
Right.
Okay, Cambridge additional.
And you've got that in your packet. They
Well,
are
is there anybody
requesting-
else? Nobody else is here to speak. Nobody else
no,
needs it?
no.
Okay.
They are requesting $88,300 for the Liberty Knob slide that happened. They did receive a grant for the most portion of this, but it didn't cover everything, so this $8,300 is to be the county portion for the matching grant. Bridge, and this is out of cumulative bridge.
And where'd you advertise it?
Cumulative bridge.
Move to approve.
My second.
Yes.
Has to be paid, move to approve.
Eric
I
motion
think it's already.
and Lindy seconded.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It doesn't really matter.
All in favor? 7-0. And we're gonna put the
Drink is it in your cell phone.
highway department admin. Talk about moving her to bookkeeper.
Get lucky.
You did.
That's, what was Jill's last day, January 15th?
Yes.
And Lori has picked up the pace and done all the work basically down there ever since she's left. The request was that she has been doing work up to bookkeeper cases now, not just as administrative assistant, and she'd like to have that pay brought up to that level. And retroactive back to January 15th. I don't know the exact numbers, but that's the request.
Now, after you get a director out there, will she continue to do this?
I think that's the plans, but, you know, anything can be altered.
So are we changing
The
her
moving-
job
the mover to
description, or have you
bookkeeper.
guys kept her?
I'm sorry?
Have you guys got a new job description for her then?
Yeah.
We do have
Yeah.
the bookkeeper job descriptions basically.
So we're gonna keep just
general.
the narrow one? We're not gonna write it to include her other duties?
Well, I think that was dependent on whether council was going to reclassify her, because rather than, because she has a current job description, she's functioning underneath that job description, but she has added
More.
things to her plate since then. They're asking for, the first working day, from Jill's resignation will be January the 18th. The commissioners did request it be retro if it was reclassified and approved, as a bookkeeper position. I think on the letter, I put rate of pay per hour change on the letter from them. Again, it's whether then we can adjust the job description to be in keeping with the bookkeeper portion of that, because we did have a highway bookkeeper position before Jill was hired, because she did that job.
So John, I guess I'm confused. So she's doing the supervisor job right now?
No.
What is she
No,
doing?
We don't have a supervisor.
No, well, I know that.
She's administrative assistant.
Right?
And the move would be to move her to a bookkeeper's position, which has a lot more duties.
Okay.
In
And so-
regards to payroll and
And so then,
balancing
when
with
we get
Teresa.
a engineer supervisor, whatever,
Would she
Then
go
sh-
back? I don't think
so
so.
then she'll stay as the
I
bookkeeper?
think that's the plan, yes.
Are we gonna, is there plans to then have an administrative assistant, or would she encompass
No,
both of that?
no, she would be her title would be bookkeeper, and I've heard no plans on putting a second person in there as administrative assistant.
Okay.
So she would assume the duties that she was doing
Permanently.
before
Yes.
and now.
Yes.
Well, if the administrative assistant was doing all this beforehand, what's the the new administrator gonna do? Are they gonna do?
There won't be
who's
a
gonna
new
do the bookkeeping?
administrative assistant. She will assume the duties of administrative assistant, I think. She'll be doing the same work plus all the bookkeeping.
So there won't be two?
So what the administrator?
There will not be two.
There will not be an administrative assistant?
There will not be two people.
There'll just be a
there.
bookkeeper?
Yes.
Are you saying what will be
Director do?
Yeah, I thought that's what the director was, I thought the director before was doing that. So what's the new director gonna be doing?
She's gone, and, so now Lori has picked up all those duties. And we're waiting on who we're gonna hire to be the director of the department.
And the commissioners are just.
Commissioners have approved
Approved it.
unanimously.
Well, it sounds like she's doing two jobs now, so.
She did. But she picked that all up a whole lot after.
But that's what I
Yes,
mean, she's
yeah,
picked that,
yeah.
those responsibilities and duties up, and then
She has,
compensated for it.
and like somebody said a minute ago, was that is she doing the director
No.
job or? She's filled in those duties but doesn't have the job. Yeah.
My thought,
If she's gonna pick up all those duties,
After all that.
what is the new director gonna do?
He's gonna be the boss of the whole thing.
He's gonna
Yeah.
oversee.
So are you guys
Whoever that may be.
gonna do an interim superintendent so the guys know what they're, I mean, that would probably be the smart thing to do.
There is no interim superintendent.
I mean, you guys,
I hope we have somebody hired next meeting, but I don't know when that's gonna happen. I do like the idea of having somebody over.
I'm just
We don't
saying,
have
you
it.
guys should have a little meeting, go talk with a couple of
We've had
them
several
and
meetings and I suggested it.
see who's qualified.
I don't have a difference with it.
the way I feel about this position is, if the commissioners are on board with it, I'd like to agree with the commissioners.
So is it a motion?
I believe I will make a motion for the position.
No, it was a mission.
Motion to move Lori Turner to bookkeeper
What,
instead of highway admin.
She keeps her raise,
Now-
so, yeah, we'll just
Teresa,
basically make
before,
2 raises.
when we, in the clerk's office, spin you right back.
I'm not
We
disagreeing with
talked
you.
about, retro.
So,
did
I thought
somebody
we did away
second?
with retro.
so do we
Not
have
yet.
so do we have a salary?
Remember that team?
She
For-
can tell you what the salary is.
But
No,
So are we
because
trying to get an
when we
engineer
had
still, or still are we just trying to get?
EMS directors
You're changing
and
position
911
and the
directors,
salary
they
increase
retroed
goes
them
with it.
back to the, day that
Okay.
the other one
So,
left.
so if we
basically,
hire an
the
engineer,
next
then that
payday
salary,
or the next board
if
action.
it's just a supervisor, then?
No, it was
You see
the
what I'm saying?
probationary pay.
I'm not
either
really
way,
thrilled
but
about
years
the
ago, but
engineer,
you
but that
guys
seems
can-
like where we're going.
Because it's, we're
But
the
if we
same
can't get an
salary,
engineer,
you
is
don't
what I'm
want to go
saying.
back and pay anything from the prior year, but that we're in the same
The
salary year, so you
engineer
can decide when you
would
want to
get the
start
$40,000
compensating
plus
this
the salary.
person
Right.
for the
$95,000.
new job duties.
Did we do it for the last
But
time?
a supervisor.
So the interim,
Do we remember
The supervisor
interim
would be.
directors.
No, when we made them
Director on one
She's talking about
when they
Bookkeepers.
become bookkeepers? Remember? when-
Yeah, we went back to the start date of when they took on their extra duties. We did it for recorder, we did it for directors over at
If we don't hire somebody.
My-
community corrections.
My motion would be however we've done it with everybody else.
So Donnie motioned to move
We lose the $40,000.
bookkeeper
just
and
a
retro
second,
back.
But I know when we did it for the clerk's office, we gave them the retro.
The Lord keeps
Then
her,
we
yeah.
voted that we would not.
Yeah,
Either way.
That's a fact, yeah.
So that's just,
He said
There's
that
no
we voted
arguing
that
that,
we
I'm
wouldn't,
with you, I'm
wouldn't go back anymore,
Now,
right?
that's when we had the clerks.
You remember?
She'll
We
be
had
the
those
good
two
bookkeeper.
bookkeepers. We gave them retro and then.
Oh, that's been several years ago.
That meeting,
She can tell you how
that
much.
meeting minutes.
I was just wondering about.
No, that's.
you think if.
Can't,
I think that was.
my motion
Where was
be,
Jill? Okay, Jill's
we'll
gone.
take her to
Okay, hire
bookkeeper,
another person,
but
take Jill's place.
if
Lori's
the
still
minutes
correct.
say that we was not
Well, but
gonna do that somewhere or another, then
Okay, this person's
Right.
having that
They
person's
get
responsibility back
effective
over
this,
here.
and then we go
Yes,
back and
yes,
research, and then if
yeah,
you want to compensate her for
Of course
the
they will.
difference, but
That's
she,
what-
at
that's the
times,
person's
you
job.
can move to do that later.
Yeah, that was soon as we
Okay.
okayed
Started
the
with
engineer
next
last time,
pay
then they
period.
took the job description and took everything out.
So we're gonna take the.
So then we were gonna need an admin assistant, is what they were
No,
talking about.
trying to figure out.
We're still in the same pay period.
So we need to word this
We can catch
just
her
right to
later.
make sure that they're not
If
gonna
that's what
need
you're
an
saying.
administrative assistant added onto this.
Right, and that when they hire
Okay.
whoever they're gonna hire, that she keeps, if we're giving her that raise, then she needs to keep those duties and not hand them off to another, she needs to,
So if we do this, we need your word, like when we did the engineer thing, And then you came back and I heard there was word that we were gonna need an admin assistant out there
I
after
never
we
heard
already
that.
did
I've
that.
never heard that. I've never heard that.
Cause you took all the job
Never been
descript,
discussed in my.
the admin
What,
stuff,
sir?
I just now heard it.
the
You just
admin
now heard it.
stuff
You
out
didn't hear it
of,
from me.
Yeah,
I
I know.
have never, and
It's
in my
okay.
discussions with my fellow
Yeah.
commissioners, have we talked about adding another person.
okay.
So,
Now, if they're doing it, I haven't heard it.
Well, what is the job description?
The way it stands right now is that she is an admin assistant. The commissioners changed the highway supervisor's
Right.
job to highway director. So it would encompass a bachelor's degree and a professional license of engineering.
So there's only one more
So
position
there-
on there now,
And
in this
so-
one.
And then, so what has happened is you guys at the last meeting agreed to amend the salary ordinance, not to change the supervisor position, but to add a highway engineer stipend should they hire an engineer.
Right.
So this would be to move the highway administrative assistant and change the title to highway bookkeeper. If you agree to reclassifying that, then I will take an updated job description to the commissioners at the next meeting for them to adopt officially the position out there and compensate Ms. Turner as a bookkeeper versus if you guys so move. Mr. Watts talked about a board's decision many years ago, whenever they took on a similar situation when they moved deputy clerks to a bookkeeper title, and there were two of them. Is that correct, Teresa, that got moved up at the same time? And that this board had some agreement at that time or action taken that was the last time that they would retro pay somebody for back duties. My suggestion to you at this time is if your board agrees to reclassify her as a bookkeeper, to move forward with this current pay roll. All right, and then let us research, and if you guys so move later and consider it, we'll consider the gap pay between January the 18th and this payroll, and catch her back up. So that would be my suggestion, if you guys so move to reclassify her at this time, is to start right now, and then deal with the gap later.
Well, the motion that I made, let's go with that. And then after you look at the minutes, you research all of that. If it comes back that what Ab is saying, which I think is right, then it will be from this day forward.
no.
If
Whether or not that is amended,
This
since
current
I don't
pay
know what your
period
motion
forward.
is.
Yeah,
So, you saying current payroll period forward?
if we put in the minutes that you'll have to read the minutes.
Okay,
But today, let's go from today forward in my motion.
okay.
And I would like to ensure that, the job title, that any duties that she is picking up or that she's doing, that she's getting paid for now, she's getting that pay increase, that when and if an engineer or a director come on, that none of those duties then are taken away from her, because then she's essentially she's getting paid for work not doing, so she needs to keep those job duties.
As long as she's doing the bookkeeper's work,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
Yes, if she ever falls back, no, we'd have to,
Right.
should go back to what that
I just
job
don't want whoever to take it back from her and then,
I understand. I
Yeah.
understand.
And do you want that part of your motion then, and to
So, will we put it-
reclassify if her duties go back to admin
She'll
assistant?
do the work that our supervisor assigned her to do.
If the
what'll
supervisor
happen.
decides to take her back to
Make her a
admin,
bookkeeper, she's gotta do that job.
whatever her title is the pay rate that she will be getting. I guess that's the best way to put it. If
But I
the
don't wanna-
supervisor takes her back,
but I don't
then she
wanna come back and have to have an administrative assistant is what
Uh,
I think we're saying.
And I agree, and I had never heard that. I don't know where
I
that's
hadn't
come
heard
from.
it either, I just know that that's what it was, right? It was an administrative assistant, now we're changing it to bookkeeper.
Yeah.
I just don't want them to come back and say, hey, now we need an administrative assistant.
And then that would be a different vote for a different day.
Right, that's why I
If
wanna
there's
I-
do it.
discussions on that, I haven't heard those discussions.
Yeah, but that's, Linda's got a good point. It's a good point.
So is that part of
Maybe
your
I was
motion
sleeping, I
that
don't
you
know.
would then reclassify if she goes back to administrative assistant duties?
Then she has to go back to the rate of pay of an
Right.
administrator.
So you'll agree for now to compensate her as a bookkeeper?
She's
and
never
then
gonna go
return
back.
To
She's
add.
never gonna go back to what she had before.
All right, then she'll get the pay, Eric. what I'm doing, commissioners has approved this position. It's come to our table to either do the pay rate or not. The motion is,
From here on out.
from here on out, if she does go back, she goes back to the old pay. If not,
She won't go back.
Well, that's
And they
either.
hire, they're gonna hire the new supervisor, the new supervisor's gonna come in, and then, she's gonna be doing more duties, and making more money. The new supervisor's gonna come in, we're gonna pay the new supervisor the same amount of money as Jill was making, and plus, we're gonna be paying Lori for a raise. So everything went up, and we didn't get anything more for it.
I think her salary will go up, and it's probably gonna be permanent, I don't
So, I
disagree
mean,
with
if
you
that's
on
what-
that.
if that's
But
what
if
the
for
board
some
wants, that's
reason,
what we're gonna get.
if for some reason it went back to administrative assistant, I think the salary would go back with it.
that's my motion, she has to go back to that pay. I mean, that's.
What was
that's plain and
Jill's
simple.
salary before?
55,000,
So that is still the same?
Yes.
When we hire somebody,
Unless
Yeah, but
they
she
got
was
degree.
doing all this extra that we're going, I agree with Eric in a way, because if we raise Lori's payments, I know it's a shocker, but if we raise Lori's stuff, and then the supervisor, or the superintendent, whatever we're gonna call it now, comes back in, they're not gonna be doing the extra stuff that Lori was doing, or that
Yeah.
Jill was doing, because Lori's gonna have it.
okay.
I
So,
agree there, but does a engineer or
Should we wait?
or a director,
until we hire
Do they
someone,
wait? The
Until it gets
bookkeeper?
set, yes.
we'll
Jill
make
did it,
this.
so she started out doing that stuff.
yeah, and of
Can
course she
we-
was there so many years.
Can we
Already
make
fell
this
under-
until we hire someone and then decide if it's permanent? Can we make this like an intermediate, since she's doing the job now, pay her for it? But then as soon as we hire a superintendent, come back and look at it and not make anything in concrete right now?
You could.
So you could do on the salary ordinance,
Because we don't know if we're gonna hire an engineer or,
We don't know.
we
That's
just
correct.
don't
Matter of
know.
fact, we haven't had any more engineers apply. for the
Yeah,
job.
so we don't know what we're going to
So I
hire,
don't
what
want-
their job duties are
Do you
gonna
guys just-
encompass.
So
rather
who
than
makes
go
their
back
job
and forth,
duties?
you
You-
just want-
Who does what?
Does the commissioners make their job duties?
They say they're going to
Yes.
do,
well, I mean,
what she's
I want her
Is
to feel
bookkeeping gonna be one of them?
compensated
Yeah,
that
she's
she's
doing
making
the
more, she's
supervisor?
doing it. So we should do January 18th till
It-
now,
it could be,
this,
but I
this,
wouldn't-
this money, the
No,
19
I don't
something,
think
while
that's
she's doing it.
feasible, to be
And then
honest
when
with
we
you.
do
The only
hire
thing we'll
someone,
build is
they're
because
gonna
she
share some of those
started out doing
things,
it, and she was
so
doing
maybe
that
not
before she
as
ever
big a
came.
jump.
And she.
And
As
we
long as
reevaluate
she's
their
compensated.
Job
Before
duties.
Lori ever came on.
Right. And
Can
that's,
we
that's,
reevaluate
that's
their
just something that
job
she
duties?
did.
I guess I'm just thinking
It'd
if
be, to me, it'd be like Jerry being.
if the high, if the
Yeah,
highway
right.
director
Well,
or
that's what I'm
supervisor,
saying.
or which way they're gonna
So
go,
if we,
I mean, I think you need to
decides
look at
it,
it.
they're judging.
I do
lots of
too.
the bookkeeping
Yeah,
I do
duties,
too.
and they're overseeing all that. You guys could, after that's in place, decide to go back and compensate her for that period of time. Again, we're still the same pay
I
year.
mean, if
So
if
we can make
yeah,
adjustments.
Can we not make an interim,
No.
an interim bookkeeper for now until we make the decision, and then go
Go
back?
back and pay her from the 18th
Yeah.
through this current pay
Yeah.
period, and then
But
wait till they,
I don't
until
want
they
her to
hire.
be doing
Yeah.
anything about the
And
Keep,
then
keep,
you'll
keep her at
reevaluate
this,
it.
and then we'll
Okay, I have
reevaluate
a
it
suggestion.
and put it back.
Never happened.
Okay, right now, she's doing all this work. She's doing the work. She should be compensated for the work, just as if John is, Teresa is, whoever, Rachel is, whatever the work's done. We put it in the meeting notes, we put it in our minutes, we put it, and we make sure we put it in the documentation, that this is temporary per the hiring of a new superintendent. Then the commissioners will decide what those job duties will entail for that superintendent. If that superintendent takes on the bookkeeping responsibilities, then Ms. Turner would go back to being an administrative assistant with that pay.
That's what I said.
That sounds good to me,
Make
but I thought
an
that's
interim
what.
position on
An
the
interim
salary
position.
ordinance
yes,
Never happened.
until the decision's
fine.
made.
If it's in writing,
that's fine. Eric,
Well, do you wanna put her there permanently? That's what we were getting ready to vote on, put her there permanent, and then it'd be
You're not gonna
done.
classify her as a
That's wrong,
bookkeeper,
too.
you're just gonna pay her at the
You
rate
just do like
because
you
she's
said.
been doing the
Wait till they hire
duties
somebody.
in the meantime.
Say,
You're not, but you're not gonna
Correct.
reclassify
Wait
her,
till they
right?
hire
Yeah, I
somebody.
would not
She's not-
reclassify her in
No,
that case right
no,
now.
that's why I don't wanna give her a
So I'll
permanent
withdraw my
bookkeeper
motion.
position.
Okay.
Yeah,
wait till
Until
you
we
hire
know what she's
somebody
gonna
and
do.
set it.
yes.
But if
So-
you were working all this extra, wouldn't you want a few more dollars to make you feel like you are?
Makes-
that's my thing. She's doing the work now.
Let me-
You,
let me
you'd
ask
quit.
let
I
me
know
ask
you,
Yeah, no,
see ya.
No, let me ask you this. let me ask you this.
You'd fight too.
She's got a good job, she's not killing herself out there. I've been out there.
Are you out there with her every day, day
I've
in
been
and day
there.
out?
I've been out there.
Everybody thinks somebody else's job's easy.
Yeah.
My dad doesn't think I do anything babysitting, and that's a whole ballgame.
Okay, I'm gonna pull back to my purpose for being here. Watch out for taxpayer dollars.
I am too.
Okay, watch out for taxpayer dollars. Now, we're talking about passing out food. People are standing in line for food. I think she could probably wait till we get a new supervisor and settle it.
Well, I withdraw my motion on that.
It's up to the board. That's my opinion. you know.
I withdraw the motion because everybody wants to go ahead and compensate her at this time. And then after the commissioners hire, I don't see a director out there being the bookkeeper. But if you wanna do it this way, we can re-look at this after you hire a director and everybody knows exactly what their duties are and pay them accordingly.
If they don't wanna be the bookkeeper though, then we'll lower that rate. Because if Jill was doing that,
Yeah.
and bookkeeping, and
We're
her
coming,
superintendent stuff,
yeah, we're coming in at the 55,000 on what Jill was making, and she was doing the bookkeeping. So that's what we're basing that 55. So if this new supervisor isn't going to do the bookkeeping, then should they make the 55,000?
Yeah, and I
Good
think.
question.
And so if they are gonna do the bookkeeping, then we don't need to pay Lori for the bookkeeping, and that's where that,
I will say-
Are
that's
you
where that
good?
balance
Are
is.
you good with this?
Yeah.
Okay.
I will say this, that no matter who we hire, I think it's doubtful the new supervisor director will be doing the bookkeeping.
I agree.
And
I
I think
agree.
it's more than likely, and I'm gonna agree with you, it's more than likely gonna be a permanent thing. However, you can do your motion wherever you want, and don't, we can revisit it later.
But let's start the
Well, I
pay,
think this
let's
is-
start the pay today in that motion.
Yeah, I
She
mean,
needs to be paid.
I'm just being open with you too.
I think she needs to be
She
paid.
does, in my opinion, and, you know, she is doing both positions, but I mean, bookkeeping
Yes.
and administrative assistant. And I feel she needs to be compensated for that, and I feel that we can, at this time, make it an interim position. Don't change her rating.
Is this your motion?
Whatever.
your motion?
I make a
Okay.
motion, we do that. Or move-
Diane motion to make an interim position for now, that she will make 1917 as bookkeeper, interim bookkeeper. And are we gonna backdate it? It seems only fair that we backdate it from
She's been
January
doing that
18th.
position since, January 18th, in my opinion, you don't know if it's got one doing it.
Well, if-
January 18th,
The retro's pending, from what we find out.
I think that's a whole different, I mean, she's taken on a whole position because someone quit.
Yeah.
Those
That
were,
makes sense.
those were
Yeah.
because people moved up.
Well, that's why we need, what we need to check and see if we amended that in.
Well, we just did it, we did it for Maryland, and then we did it for them over there because they moved up into a position and took tons of, since I've been here. And they took on all the job descriptions of director and split it, so we went ahead and back paid them.
Tammy, you got, she's making the motion now, not me. Is that the way you got it?
Yeah, Diane,
Yes,
Okay.
Diane Mullins,
All right.
yes.
So
I've got
mine's
one down for the
withdrawal,
motion
and then,
that she should be compensated and at the interim bookkeeper
Yes,
rate,
yes,
which is
yes.
1917, equal to the regular
And then
bookkeeper rate.
when
But
the
the time period
commissioners
you guys
find
need
the
to
person
define
that they're
for me.
gonna hire and those
We
job
have two separate
description is
motions
made
for
up, then we can figure out where we're going from there.
no, no.
So you're basically saying in the absence of a director, that's the time frame that you want to do this in. During the absence of the director,
Yes.
Yeah,
she's picked up
until-
extra duties, and that would be January the 18th through
Yes.
their hire date,
Up until when they meet again.
up until when they hire. And it's not a permanent thing, it's just compensating
And
her
then we
for
can come
additional
back and make
duties.
whatever permanent at that point.
And then after they hire, then they need to come back with their update to you all and tell you how the arrangements are out there, so you can either remove the interim and she goes back down to administrative assistant, or you reclassify her permanently.
Yes.
That's kind of what's on the
She's not an
table.
interim director, she's a bookkeeper, I guess.
an interim bookkeeper. That's what we're gonna put it as on the salary ordinance.
Yeah.
Eric second that?
No.
You did?
No, sir. No second.
Did anybody second yet?
I'll second it.
It was nicely worded.
All right, all in favor? 6-1, or all opposed?
We'll look that up too.
Okay. All right, reassessment, additional appropriation.
Can I go back to the back row again?
Thank you, John. I just want to make sure we're not gonna have 10 positions everywhere.
I'm pretty sure you're right.
Just to tell you, Madam President, we have an executive at noon in here with the commissioners, so I just didn't know.
I didn't know this was gonna be a lunch meeting.
Stick around.
But we're on our last comment. These next three items are pretty much housekeeping. Okay. The reassessment is, for the position, the second deputy in there. This is for the raise that was given this year in the last year's budget. It wasn't included in that original appropriation, so $759 in the reassessment fund and budget as an additional appropriation.
Motion to approve. I have a second.
I'll second.
Who motioned? I'm so sorry.
Me. Diane second. All approve? Or all agree? 7-0? Okay. Lit special purpose additional?
Yeah, the next two are housekeeping as well from the 2020 budget session in October. In the special purpose, council during the budget last year decided to move two line items from the general fund budget over to the special purpose. The medical and dental contract and the contractual meal prep in the amount of $329,100. So that again, that's line items during budget in October last year that council wanted to move from general fund over to lit special purpose.
Why didn't you do that?
Can't do the additionals during that year. You have to do them after the first of the year. They weren't advertised during the regular budget session. So council wanted to, made a note in our notes that we wanted to do the additional after the first of the year, to take these line items and put them in lit special purpose instead of general fund.
So that gave us money in general fund to be able to function with. Do you have a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Yeah, I'll second.
All in favor? 7-0.
Okay, and the next one out of your, public safety, it's the same thing. Council last year decided that they wanted to move three line items from EMS over to public service. Group insurance at $159,000, ambulance billing fee at $85,000, and their insurance liability at $37,000. So $281,000 from your lit public safety. Again, this was a budget action item.
I got all kinds of problems with that. Number one, who moved that over out of EMS over to some county responsibility?
They were gonna go under.
Huh?
They were gonna go under. They were gonna have 16,000 to run on this whole year.
Okay, so.
Because
the county
COVID.
council did it?
Because COVID, yes.
The county council?
Yes, with
Took
the
that.
words of Jackie Clements, to save them, but not for us to take them back on the tax roll, just because COVID hit and everything was crazy last year. We decided to take these on.
Okay.
That was before any of the money was even spoke of this year. So that's nothing on them. That was something that was done early.
That was a council action item, and what you all discussed was doing that for 1 year. 1 year only.
It was just
So
a
this is
one, it
not-
was just a,
So we're not responsible for them, for their benefits.
For the what?
We're-
Benefits?
We're not responsible
no,
going
this
forward.
is just one time.
Okay.
One time because, like I said, they were gonna be 16,000 in.
Okay, so this is one time, it's not been voted on, that we have taken
No,
this over.
no, just one
They
time.
still.
This will
it's
go back
still
in their
their
budget this year. It'll go back in theirs
Okay.
because all their stuff's on the up and up.
Move to approve.
Have a second?
I'm gonna, well, go ahead.
Second.
Well, if we got a little time for discussion here, they
We have a
got,
motion
they
and a
got
second.
$1.6 million that they can take that, use that money to pay what we would have paid right here in this vote. And so I'm not gonna give another dime.
Okay, all in favor? 6, 1. We did this before any of that other money came up, and then at the first of the year, when we got, well, when we finally got our money, and it was dispersed,
And then they've got tons of money to waste on whatever they wanna waste on.
But-
If they can't pay their own bills, they should pay their own bills out of that money we just gave them.
So
So,
what are they wasting? I need to know that as a councilman, if they're wasting our money, what are they wasting that on?
well, they've got $5,000 wrap on each ambulance.
Right.
A wrap, paint job, wrap, $5,000. Got 2 brand new crew
That's not
cabs for
true,
about
Eric.
$70,000 or
That's not
$80,000.
true.
That's not true.
You can't take
Okay,
that
They're not
back
paying
off.
$5,000 per vehicle.
They're not 5,000 a vehicle?
No,
How much
only
are they?
one vehicle costs that much.
Okay,
The rest of them are all around 3,000, 3,500.
okay.
and
Now,
that's,
if you
that's
don't
the
like
same,
that
that's the
number,
same to get the
that's
stripes and the color.
$3,500 wrap on 3 ambulances,
It's the same amount.
5,000, whatever.
If you research it, it's the same amount
Okay,
that the usual
UTV,
stuff is.
A UTV to go
You're
out,
gonna pay quite a bit of money to do,
a UTV to go out and make some saves out on the river someplace on 4-wheel drive.
is that a bad
UTV.
thing?
A UTV,
Yes.
people are standing in line out here to get food, and we're getting those people a UTV to drive around
I
on.
don't
2
think
brand
that's
new
a
crew
bad- I don't think
cabs,
that's a bad
2
thing.
brand new crew cabs.
No.
2 brand new crew cabs.
No, they're in the
$80,000
process of
big.
saving lives.
The crew cabs are saving lives?
Yes, they are, that's what they're there for, to save lives, and you're trying to make it like a total waste of money being spent here. Now, they're gonna put quite a bit of money into doing those vehicles anyway, it's not necessarily wrapped,
All
like
right.
it's gone up.
Okay.
But the very back end is what's most expensive, where you put all those stripes on the back. My advice to you, go out and talk to him.
All right. Well, you want me to go through the list of
You
stuff
go
here?
do whatever you want to.
Okay. Cut trees in the backfield.
That's county property, we're cutting.
Yeah, cut trees in the backfield, $2,500. Wrap with 3 trucks. Now, I don't know where you got your 3,500, it says 15,000 here on this paper.
I
That
don't know,
Shannon Mountain
we
gave us.
didn't spend that kind of money.
Well, he's lying on here then,
But he
right?
might be, but that ain't what we authorized.
Okay, well, that's what, yeah. I'm just reading off the numbers off the sheet that Shannon gave me.
You're good.
Okay. Let's see, Louisville Topper, $4,500 for a director's truck. Topper. Labor to build a wall in multi-purpose room, $800. Material for build a wall in multi-purpose room. How is all this stuff good for the taxpayers of Scott County is what I'm
Well, I
saying.
think saving lives is a good thing, and these guys are out there 24 hours a day.
Okay. $15,000 wraps, that's it.
Are you objecting to the
Zinc.
vehicles being marked, or are you objecting to the way they're marked?
I'm objecting to the dollars being spent on
Well,
something that's not
you-
necessary.
Let's
Well,
talk
you
about
got-
the museum, Mary.
you got to have them
Well,
identified.
you wanna talk about saving dollars, let's talk about the
Okay.
museum. Whoa, time out.
Okay, zinc sign.
No,
We
you
don't,
wanna
we don't,
save
we
money.
don't, we don't have the museum on here. Let's,
I want to
let's,
save money, and I wanna point out some things with him.
I'm the county council person.
Well,
This
I'm
is
a
our
county
meeting. You just-
commissioner,
you
and
just
I
sit
know
over
where
and
you're
shut
going
up.
with money on this stuff.
okay, we're done. We're
Zinc
done.
sign
We're
right
done.
here,
We're done. We're
$59.95,
done.
zinc sign,
We're done.
graphics on
Eric.
veterans.
We're done.
Eric,
This is, we're
let's-
done.
let's get
Either
out
you
of here.
agree or you don't agree, you've
Here's-
voiced your opinion, we're
here's the
done.
thing.
There you go.
That is not on you guys, that was last year's stuff.
That's
It's
correct.
done, and you're not gonna change it.
That's correct.
We done this because we didn't want to put them back on the tax roll. We allowed that money. Now, what was there
You need
was
a motion
okay,
to adjourn?
but you can't change nothing, and there's no sense in being upset about it because
I'm not upset.
and you never had no part about it, no
I'm not
part in
upset.
it.
Have we done it all?
So it's
Yeah.
done, it's under the bridge.
I'm not upset. I'm just saying, they've got tons of money. They need to pay their own bills.
I agree with
And
people.
we
paying
told
their own
him
bills.
that. We
They're
told
not
him.
paying their own bills.
We told him that it's not gonna happen no more. He had this year, he's got the money to bring that service up to date.
I don't agree with it either, the way that they spent their money, but our job, Eric, as we were elected, is going forward. So now our job is when the budget for going forward comes, there's nothing we can do about this.
Right.
Except say, hey, I don't like the way you spent this, I think you could have done a much better job.
And that's okay.
And, but going
You
forward,
can say no.
Madam
I
Chairman?
can say no, but this was already
You
done.
adjourn?
Madam Chairman, I move to adjourn.
Can we approve minutes, because I need them for the state to go over.
Move to approve the minutes,
Thank you.
then I move to adjourn.
I'll second.
Okay, do we take a vote on the minutes?
Okay,
Raymond and Ab.
all approve the minutes,
All right.
7-0. All right. Raymond, motion to adjourn.
And Ab second and Ab two, I think.
I will, yeah.
Next time, somebody order pizza.